Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marati.
And I'm JTG, aka Jay the God.
AKA the Human Shopping Channel come to life. A brand new Wrestling Insiders Week in Review begins now. Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th Anniversary Bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet two-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Styles Slick, the Berzerker, Doink The Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus two-time Impact World Champion diehard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jora Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo, fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th at an event 20 years in the making.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome to another Wrestling Insiders Week in Review. I'm Dan Marati here at MWF Studios, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, in the zip code of Champion 02176. Even if Jimmy Kimmel isn't making it sound like a zip code of champions, jobbing out Melrose on the Jimmy Kimmel Show for taking the fun out of Halloween. We're going to be talking a little more about that as our issues with Melrose in and of itself continue, but very happy to have you here with us on a very rainy, dreary Halloween Eve here on Wrestling Insiders Week in Review. Cena Sr. and I were enjoying the sunshine in the Sunshine State at Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights this week. A blast if you've never been and you're a Halloween fan. Also saw the Halloween Kills movie when we were down there. I thought it was very, very good. I enjoyed it with Baby Marati after one of our theme park days. Nonetheless, folks, you talk about action, adventure, unknown personified. We are now officially 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. An event that literally began prep work 2 years ago, right about now. We're talking about Boston Wrestling's 20th anniversary, back to the 90s extravaganza, a party you're never going to forget. Saturday night, November the 13th, from the historic Memorial Hall, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, just 2 blocks from this fine studio. I'm sure you folks heard the horrible news that Hacksaw Jim Duggan had to go in for prostate cancer surgery yesterday. If you're watching the premiere of this on Saturday, we had known that Jim wouldn't be able to participate for a couple of days, but we didn't want to make an announcement that certainly his family or Jim himself should have made, which he did. So now certainly we can talk about it. Very sad to lose Jim. We were looking forward to having Jim. We've invited Jim to join us for our Back to the 80s reunion in April. Hopefully, tough guy. He's going to march right through it like he did previously when he battled cancer back in the late 90s. And Hacksaw can be with us in the spring to put some smiles on your faces and create some memories. But tough to lose him. We didn't want to lose him. Very happy that our friend Bushwhacker Luke, fellow WWE Hall of Famer, will be doing a little honky and doing a little dancing at Memorial Hall in Melrose. He always brings a good time. It's the first time in 10 years we'll have had Luke with us. So that's a positive, as well as having a superstar right off of national primetime television, Jora Joel of AEW, a part of Matt Hardy's faction, making his in-ring debut. So certainly we continue to stack this roster, stack these 90s legends the best we can. I mean, you know what? Every time we have faced an obstacle, and we have faced an obstacle, believe me, I'm going to make a very special video for you guys. Cena Sr. and I did one discussing 20 years of Boston Wrestling MWF, but maybe this one event in particular, behind the scenes, what it took to bring it together, some things that maybe you know about, some things that maybe you don't know about, and maybe it'll open your eyes to see just how tough this gig is. Anyways, folks, you're not here to listen to me gab. You are here to enjoy the highlights of the week. Because of our endeavor in Orlando, we did not have the podcast version of Monday Night Mission with Oscar this week, so we're going to kick it off with Wrestling Exciters Extreme from Tuesday, when we're joined once again by the veteran Just Incredible. He discusses the end of Aldo Montoya in WWF, the meeting he took with Vince McMahon at Titan Towers, working the Memphis territory, Paul Heyman wanting to buy out the last year of his contract with WWF, and developing Just Incredible for ECW. Check it out. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marty, joined by the former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, and I think even a couple of tag team title reigns in there too, right?
I have, yeah, quite a few.
Did it all. He gave you guys so many memorable moments, the blood, the sweat, the tears. We're going to dive into it. Unfortunately, we were only able to produce the 6 episodes with New Jack that we did, but we have a great superstar like Just Incredible. You've seen some of the unique episodes we had with the Sinister Minister, Father James Mitchell, when we were down in Tampa WrestleMania week. So a lot of great content coming to this show to give you guys a front row seat, forget about a front row seat, maybe even locker room access to what was the world of ECW. The superstars, the places, the moments, the memories, the events. That's what this show is all about Tuesday nights after NXT. If you could, if you're watching the premiere, share the link on social media. If you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, Facebook wrestling groups, let us know what's going on. I'd love to have Justin up here every week, even though we are on every week. We'd love to have him here taping every week. It would make things a lot easier on my poor, agitated lower back right now, but I don't want to complain because we do have a lot of fun on these shows. But let's get to the meat. We talked a lot about you, your history, your thoughts on the business, and so on and so forth. Let's talk about 1997.
Sure.
There wasn't a hell of a lot going on with Aldo Montoya.
No, not much. not too much.
And it started off with a bang. I mean, Ted DiBiase tried to buy you.
Yep.
But it just, for whatever the reason, it just seemed to slowly go downhill. And as someone that just enjoyed WWE, I enjoyed the Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya.
Yeah, I mean, this was, God, I'm trying to be correct here. I think I was 21 when I was offered the job. So I barely have a year and a half experience. And most of my experience was with the WWE, WWF at the time, doing, jobs on television. So for me, my debut was not only debuting with a character that I really didn't, I got my outfit the day I showed up for TV.
Oh, really?
First time I'd ever worn a mask, ever. And this is the first time I get to do a promo ever on Monday Night Raw. So a lot of firsts are going on. So,
nervous?
Very, oh my God, I was so nervous. But still, I learned so much. And, they tried different things with me. They even put me with Jake the Snake Roberts at one point.
Yeah.
And,
you did that thing with, I think, Lawler and the Booze.
Yeah, but I did that. And I did some stuff with Jeff Jarrett as well. And I think in '97, Just Incredible was running its course. And I remember things that were starting to change a bit. I was well liked in the office. I was still on the road, and I had a very good relationship with the old man, Vince McMahon. And but what was happening was Scott and Kevin had just left for WCW, and that shift was happening. And I went to Vince and asked for a meeting. I went up to Stamford to Titan Towers. And I was like, I could do more. I'm really coming into my own, and I was. I mean, the reports that the agents were giving back to the office were, I was having great matches. Sometimes the match of the night, they let me go with like Chris Candido, opening match for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, do whatever. And you're giving 2 young guys that opportunity. We're dying to work, So we were just doing really good stuff. And I said, help me do something, help me help you kind of speech to Vince. And he's like, well, I really don't have anything that I could think of right now. And I said, well, Vince, if you don't have anything for me in that capacity, or for Aldo, because I knew the Aldo thing was running its course, I said, just will you please give me my release? I was like, Scott and Kevin were down there and they were starting to gain power, and they're like, we can get you a nice job over here, get you paid. And Vince said, I can't. He goes, you know, you got another year left. He goes, we've put in a lot of time to kind of cultivate you as a talent. What I will do, well, as far as, you know, giving me a break, and they did.
Well, but I mean, as far as the promotional time that they put into Aldo Montoya, I don't think.
No,
I think they could have done a lot more with it.
Not from that aspect.
Yeah,
but
I think they could have done a lot more with it.
They could have, but I think that I don't think I was ready when they could have. I think I was still learning.
Fair point.
But anyways, I agreed with everything he was saying, but he goes, the reason is it'd be a bad look to have another one of my guys going over there. Not that Aldo would have gone over there, but the perception of another wrestler leaving for WCW after, you know, certain guys had already left. He goes, I can't do that. He goes, but what I can do is I'll send you to Memphis, learn how to work as a heel. In 6 weeks, we'll bring you back, repackage you, and you know, do something else with you and debut you on Raw. So I went down there, worked for Lawler for 6 weeks, started to do something like a Just Incredible. Wasn't really that, just I was finding.
What name were you using down there?
PG 187.
Oh, okay.
Similar to a New Jack thing, a gangster look. I teamed with PG 13.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, and but that really wasn't. You know, I'm not a gangster. I wasn't a hip hop guy. It wasn't really working. But the last night I was there in Memphis, ECW was there as part of the Jerry Lawler angle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And all of them are there: Sandman, Sabu, Van Dam, Heyman, Dreamer. You know, the whole lot. And Candido was there as well. And basically, Chris told me how wonderful it was. He was working in the office with Paul, and he had a little power. And he goes, you really should come up here. And, you know, the pay's better than you probably think. And he was right. You know, long story short, Paul agreed and went to Vince and got my last year from WWE signed over to him to ECW. And that's how I made that transition to be full-time ECW.
When you were Aldo in WWF, did you ever transition to the point where you had one of those downside guarantees, or were you still a percentage of the house type of guy?
I always had a percentage of the house ones. I had.
So you never had the downside guarantee where you guaranteed $100 grand no matter what?
No, I had that when I went back in the 2001.
The second time, yeah.
And so yeah, I still had the old booking arrangement of 10 shows.
Yeah, per year, yeah.
At $150, which all of them still had at that time.
Yeah, everybody,
you know?
Until
it wasn't until
Mark Mero, he started the trend of all people, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe where you lucked out is that you were under the mask.
Yeah.
Outside of the people that read things like the Observer and the Torch.
Right.
Most of the fans wouldn't have a clue if you came back under a different persona.
Right.
That you were the same guy that was the Portuguese man.
And I think that was part of the reason too for Vince to put me in something like that for several reasons. So, but either way, look, I mean, I learned so much, and this is what really helped me in ECW, was that. You know, I'd been on television. I'd been on national television. I'd wrestled at, you know, a couple of Royal Rumbles and Survivor Series, and here I am going into, you know, ECW Arena, which is a lot smaller, and not very many people have that kind of television experience. So right away, Paul has somebody with that experience.
Young veteran.
Know? Right. And, you know, been around. I've done 200 plus dates a year for a couple of years, you know, been all over the world, and my work showed it. It just in placement and in knowing how to work certain cameras and that. And right away, he's like, well, we just got to give him the push and kind of structure, you know, his gimmick in a certain way and give him some heat. And it worked out. It just worked out really well right off the bat.
Before we hit ECW, tell us a little bit about the Memphis experience. You were there for 6 weeks. Did they have like a house show loop, or was it just TV tapings?
They had a house show loop. It was basically the same thing every week. And I'm trying to remember it. It was god-awful, though. It was really god-awful. We did Memphis television Saturday morning. I was staying in Nashville, which is about 4 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we stayed in Nashville, drove 4 hours to Memphis, did live studio wrestling in a studio, very similar to this, believe it or not, at 9 o'clock. And then we would drive back to Nashville for the evening house show, do that, and then we'd have Sunday, we would do something small in the area. Tuesdays, we would do Louisville at the Louisville Gardens.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Okay. And then God, and I'd like to think in one of those days, I think it was Thursday night, we did house shows in Memphis as well. And it's like somewhere down there, there'd be like a casino show. But man, it was normally Louisville, Nashville, and Memphis. Because a lot of those smaller towns had kind of went away, but horrible.
What
really
were the houses
horrible.
like in those big arenas?
150. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we were at the Louisville, Kentucky arena.
150 people.
Yeah, the
at
old Louisville Gardens.
God, my
The
God.
Louisville Gardens holds about 6,000
Yeah.
people, and to have 150 people, 200 tops, was
Why bother?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
really,
it was
why
bad.
pay the rent? I know in
yeah.
Mid-South Coliseum, I think that was Monday night. That was the big
That's
one.
right. That's
And
what it was.
They
yeah.
had a plum deal with the Louisville Garden because no one ever
Right.
really ever rented it on Monday night.
Right.
The Mid-South Coliseum got all the gimmick money from the food sales and
Yeah.
so on and so forth, and they gave it to them. I don't know where I heard this or read this, but I believe it was for like $1,000 a week.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't costing them that much to
No.
get the Mid-South Coliseum. I don't know what the deals might have been at some of those
was-
other
it
bigger
was pretty
arenas,
bad,
but,
though. It was
I mean,
pretty
even
bad,
at the
yeah.
Mid-South Coliseum, 150 people,
Yeah.
and was Lawler still on top?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I worked with Jerry all the time.
Talk about the last of the Mohegans.
It
huh?
really was.
I mean, it was great that the territory still existed.
Dwayne Johnson was there as
as
Cabana. What was his name? Something Flex Cabana.
Flex Cavana.
Yeah, he was down there. It was. I'm glad I did it, just because I could say I did it. But it was in its dying days. Brian Christopher was still down there.
Yeah, that would have been
you
before
know.
his debut.
Yeah, before he came up. So, but it was okay. It was miserable.
Now,
Yeah.
were you still on a WWE pay structure, or
I
were you
was.
on a Memphis pay structure?
I was on both. Vince was giving me a per week, which basically paid for my bills at home.
Yep, okay.
And then I got $40 a night in Memphis, which was, it was pretty bad.
I mean, yeah, we've heard so many stories from the guys that worked that Memphis territory over the years, and just the struggles. And
Yeah.
I remember the Nasties when they were here around Christmas time as part of the Paul Bearer Toy Drive. They had a one-bedroom apartment with one bed that they shared with the Rockers, and they'd share the bed and the couches and the floors. And I mean, just the stories that they were willing to tell on camera only made me think, what went on there with the stories that they wouldn't want to tell on
And
camera?
it was a bad time, man. I mean, because, I just got married, mind you. Just got married. And,
During this Memphis time?
Before.
Just right before?
Right before.
Okay.
So my wife comes to Memphis with me, and, we're, I didn't party or anything at the time. I didn't even drink alcohol.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so we're just doing these rides, trying to have fun and not to crack, like go nuts, and it was interesting. But we were sometimes like she would be like, "Oh, I'm not hungry, I'll just get a baked potato," and I know she'd be starving. She just wouldn't sell it because the money that I was getting from Vince was to pay for the house back home, the car, the bills over there. So we were really living on bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
In Memphis.
Bare
And we had
minimum.
a rental car down there.
Yeah.
And we're paying for a place down there, all out of pocket. So you're really running two households
You're right.
on not a lot
Right.
of money. So it was definitely interesting.
I'm sure that stipend, from WWE wasn't gigantic. No. Maybe, like you said, maybe enough to get through. The
it would have been
normal
enough to
bills
get
and-
through comfortably if that was just for Memphis
Right. Yeah, right.
per week.
If you didn't have Connecticut back at home,
yeah,
right.
exactly.
Wow, that's tough. All right,
Yeah.
wrestling fans, before we go to the break, any final thoughts about Memphis? Even though it wasn't a lucrative experience, do you look back at it fondly, positively? But how about this? Maybe the best experience you had, maybe the worst experience?
Probably the worst experience.
No. I mean, while you were there, what was the worst thing about Memphis?
Just the worst
what was
thing
the
about
best
it.
thing?
The best thing about it was honestly just spending that time with my wife, and it has nothing to do
really?
with wrestling. Yeah, and I thought about this a lot because we still talk about it once in a while. We really got to early
You
in
still
the
with the
marriage.
same wife now?
Oh yeah,
That's
absolutely.
awesome.
Yep,
That's
been married
awesome.
20 plus years. Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. We learned a lot about each other and what we were willing to kind of sacrifice.
And she
and we-
sacrificed going
yeah,
down
she certainly did. And and at the end of the day, though, it helped create a character inside. We really, and I feel like I paid my dues. Well, I mean, that's one thing. Is sometimes I think veterans to younger guys may act like we know everything, and you know, and we look smarter than thou and almost cocky. But there's reasons why we sometimes, because if we've been through those territories and come up through those times, everyone has that story of really having to sacrifice and pay dues, both financially, physically, mentally. We don't talk about mental health ever, but mental health was a huge problem.
And think about the guys that didn't have the luxury you did of getting that WWE stipend, that were trying to live life off of those $40 payoffs.
You couldn't.
I mean, there must have been hotel rooms with guys, I'm just guessing now, that would have 6 to 8 guys just to try and to get through.
And this was a thing, and I know in this day and age you shouldn't even say it, but back then, the only way to survive in Memphis was to get a girlfriend down there, which was a wrestling fan.
He said he needed him and Mustafa.
If there was
were
a young
always on the
lady
look for
down
rats
there
that
that were fans of the boys, you would hook up with one of them and sleep at their home, and they'd drive you around and feed you, because you couldn't. $40 a night, I can't get a pack of smokes and a value meal,
Wow.
So yeah.
It's amazing that it survived as long as it did.
It is.
That territory.
And everybody made it wasn't just me. It was the Steve Austins. It was the Undertakers. It was, can of tuna, man. That's what you're eating for the day. A lot of that going around.
Well, isn't it nice, though, no pun intended, that your wife gained so much, quote unquote, credibility by being with you, that she was willing to sacrifice so much to be with you down there. That says a lot about her, too.
It really
She
does.
sounds like a nice lady.
She is. God bless her.
And the worst thing, I guess, is going to be the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, so wrestling fans, we learned a little bit more about the pre-ECW Just Incredible. WWE, WWF, I should say at that point. Vince McMahon had an idea. Let's try and repackage him. Let's get rid of that Aldo Montoya, Portuguese man of war look. And then ECW said, you know what? He might be a great fit for Finley. Not Finley. He might be a great fit for Philly. We'll hear more about that after this brief timeout.
Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th anniversary bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts. Join WWE Hall of Famers Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Bob Backlund, Marty Jannetty, the Doctor of Style Slick, the Berzerker, Doink The Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese, Aldo Montoya, plus JTG of Cryme Time, two-time Impact Wrestling World Champion diehard Eddie Edwards, John Cena Sr., and Oscar of Men on a Mission for live wrestling, an autograph photo fan fest, VIP Q&A session with the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks toy drive in a must-see event 2 decades in the making. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. We'll see you live in Melrose November 13th.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
On October 28th, 2020, Wrestling's Scariest Night was back with WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. This limited edition collector's autograph poster is number 12 of only 100 produced and is signed by all 9 superstars featured on the poster, including Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, and your Halloween Havoc host, Shotzi Blackheart. Comes with WWE authentication hologram on the back. You'll also receive an on-air thank you from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a bonus mystery autograph photo. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible now. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back as we continue with Wrestling Inside Its Extreme. I love this new series. Everybody's talking about it. Our new Tuesday night tradition after NXT goes off the air. NXT has those strange new colors now. You know, they took the gold and black from us. We had that since 2001. But you know what? They've been good friends to us, so no offense, no offense.
Yeah,
I don't. The new colors, though. I don't know if you've seen the new NXT logo.
I have. It's
What?
a little, it's a little different, you know. I don't know.
That's being generous.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, only time will tell.
Time will tell, exactly.
Yeah,
it could turn into, as I sit here laughing at it, maybe one of the great ideas they have this year. Who knows? We have to wait and see how it plays out.
That's it.
As far as how it played out, though, okay, the end of the 6 weeks come. You said Paul Heyman went to Vince McMahon specifically to request you.
Yes.
Now, that must have been a hell of a Barry Horowitz pat on the back to yourself. That must have made you feel pretty good that you were wanted by one of the top promotions in the country.
I mean, Chris Candido certainly helped, you know, and we'd had that wonderful experience in WWE together. So, you know, that's really what did it, you know, and we'd had fantastic matches. So, you know, and Paul was looking. Paul was, you know, really looking, I think, for new guys coming in, especially with, you know, I think they'd had one pay-per-view already prior. So he was looking, that was the first one.
Right, they did two. They did Barely Legal, and then the second one was it Heat Wave 97?
November to Remember.
I think that was your first pay-per-view.
Yes, that was the second one ever.
Oh, no, there was Barely Legal was the first in April of 97, and then I think there was one in August, Heat Wave?
No, that
or
was
Hardcore
98.
Heaven?
That was 98.
No, I know there was it was horrible. I think it was in Fort Lauderdale, and it had horrible lights, and they let Jake come in, and they let Sonny come in, and
that Tampa one with Jake as a special guest. Like it came
they did a million. I can't remember who it was. It was Tommy Dreamer, and they did a million run-ins. They had Sonny. They had Jake. I think Jerry Lawler was involved in some capacity.
Yeah.
What are you Googling? You cheating?
Yeah.
You cheating? I'm pretty sure. I would bet you $10, and it's on video. It's on video. I'll bet you $10 that there was a pay-per-view in between Barely Legal and November to Remember in '97. Let's see. Fans at home, play along. We'll play the Jeopardy song, even though there's unfortunately no more Alex Trebek. Who, for you historians out there, made a special appearance at WrestleMania 7 in Los Angeles?
I was correct.
There was no pay-per-view between?
They had a big show as far as, like, you know, the named shows, but as far as pay-per-view, it was November to Remember.
Now I'm going to give you the $10, but I still
look.
I don't want to interrupt the show and look, but I'm
100%. Yes.
You know when we'll find out? Because the day we're taping this, we're going to be doing our live cyber signing. All of those fans will be all over Google if we throw that challenge at them. But anyway, it was.
97?
That was not a pay-per-view?
Yeah, I don't think it was.
Hold
on, now you're going to kill me.
We're talking big $10 now.
All right, I don't know.
In Massachusetts, that's almost a pack of smokes.
Here's what it says.
What's it say?
November to Remember, Hardcore Heaven, and Barely Legal.
Yeah, Hardcore Heaven was August.
But then November to Remember?
So that would have been the third one.
Yeah, I don't remember that. Because that was Mikey's first match. My first pay-per-view match was against Mikey.
Yeah, I believe
and
that.
I'd already debuted.
And we're going to get there. I think that was November of '97. But when you debuted in August of '97 with ECW,
right?
And you were using that same USWA name, or was it USWA
no, I
when you were there?
with the Justin gimmick at that time.
No, you did a couple of PG 187s.
You sure?
Yeah.
Huh.
I did. I put a lot of research into this, my friend.
I think that's what Wikipedia has, if I'm not mistaken.
And I think it was only like
maybe
3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, you know what, let me see.
It was against Jerry Lynn, my first appearance on TV.
You did a job to Chris Candido your first night in Queens. As PG 187.
That was Aldo. I had the Aldo gear and threw out the mask into the crowd.
And then you became PG 187?
The next day in Philadelphia.
Well, the notes could be wrong. But how about this? Simply, maybe we have a couple of the specifics wrong, but take us back to that great date for you, August 21st, 1997, Queens, which turned into a hell of a venue for ECW, and you're in there with the guy, another guy that was given a shit gimmick by WWF, a guy that could really, really, really go. If he came along in this era, imagine what Chris Candido would be doing in his prime, would be doing in 2021. But your memories of your first night in Queens with that rabid crowd,
Scary.
I'm sure they knew even before who was coming out. These are the Meltzer and the Keller guys that are watching you.
It was very scary.
Yeah.
Very scary because I didn't know what to expect from ECW and the crowds. And the whole shtick was I came in with the mask and the Aldo gear. And Heyman wanted me to cut a promo and say, you know, I blasted all of the, you know, the WWE and the gimmick, and then I took the mask on, threw it out there, and put on an ECF&W shirt and said, you know, I'm here to, you know, I'm ECW now. And so I had the match with Chris, which was a decent match. The crowd was on me hot and making fun of the gimmick. But the match itself was good. And, yeah, and I think he won that night. I put him over. And but it was I remember being very intimidated.
Yeah.
Very intimidated because it was so different. And the crowds were just so, like, vocal. And, whew, it was just something different. And especially when you
It wasn't a WWF atmosphere.
No, and when you're used to playing big arenas.
Yeah.
And now they're just so
on top of you.
Which come to appreciate, I prefer much more now that I'm familiar with the crowds and stuff being that close. But when you're coming from the world of the WWE, so far away, and it was like, wow, this is just bizarre.
You like that hot, intimate crowd
yes,
right on you.
Yes, but at that moment I was scared to death.
A couple of weeks after Queens, right down the street, again, it was the home of our first live event in 2001, but you worked Wonderland Greyhound Park, Revere, Massachusetts, the home of the coolest incident, and you went over on Jerry Lynn, but that night you were PJ Walker.
Was I?
Yeah, you were PJ.
So that is, wow, I guess my memory does not serve me well.
Well,
so,
you said you had a concussion or several, so that's
I always thought that for some reason, obviously not because that makes more sense. I don't remember where the Just Incredible came in. I'd like to find out, actually.
Well,
where the actual, like, what episode did I debut with that name?
We're going to go there in about 5, 4.
I didn't know you had the information.
3, 2. September 20th, 1997, the day before my birthday. They didn't invite me down. It was As Good as It Gets at the ECW Arena. And Jason introduced you.
And that's the night I wrestled Jerry Lynn again in ECW?
Was it ECW? Yes, you did, as a matter of fact.
Maybe
and that's when they renamed you Just Incredible.
Okay. I remember Queens with Aldo, being Aldo and wrestling Candido, but for some reason in my mind, I thought it went Friday from Queens to As Good as It Gets. Like the rest.
You were about a month off, but that's all right.
Yeah, but that whole month was a blur in my recollection.
Because I can't imagine. You know, like you said, you were going from, you know, the Baltimore Arena to MSG to Los Angeles Arena, and now you're in Queens, and you're in Plymouth Meeting, and
some great buildings. Though,
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying.
As a matter of fact, I got hired right up the road here for the WWE with Vince McMahon offered me my job. What was that?
Lowell,
Massachusetts.
Lowell Memorial Auditorium. Yeah. What a beautiful venue.
And he first of all, I was PJ Walker still, and just real quick, it's a hell of a story. And you know how they have all the American flags. And stuff, and they're lit up. And this is during the Raw taping. It's nighttime, and Vince takes me outside to talk. And it's like,
during the taping?
Yeah.
Wow.
Walks me outside.
That's very impressive.
And we're sitting there talking, and he goes, PJ, you know, like what you've done, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you know, the WWE, or WWF, he said back then, it was WWF, we're considered the land of opportunity, much like the American flag. You know, that he gives the whole land of opportunity shtick as he's pointing out the flag. He goes, PJ, we at the WWF, we're going to give you an opportunity. Would you like to take this opportunity? I'm like, what do you think, Vince? You know, but he did that whole spiel of making you look up, and that was right up here at Lowell.
Really?
Never forget that. Yeah.
What
scary too, to have the old man like it felt like a mafia.
You and him alone outside,
felt like a mafia
while the TV taping was going on. Yeah. We expected someone to come up from one of the production trucks from behind and put an end to you.
That's what the difference was back then.
Where that could happen.
Well, yeah. but no, so like you know the younger guys and gals don't have the opportunity for the one-on-ones that we had. And
Where it's so big now.
It's a different business, but this was pre-steroid trial and all that, and it was just it was cool though. It was great to have that,
I never knew that the opportunity that you got as Aldo came beginning here in Lowell.
Yep.
Again, for whatever reason, other than Madison Square Garden, I love to see a wrestling event in that venue. NXT has had, and I know we mentioned, I think it was on one of the previous episodes, you don't go and pay for a ticket and whatnot. WWE is very gracious in having us as their guests, but some of the NXT house shows they've had at Lowell Memorial Auditorium the past few years are just, from top to bottom, just outstanding. And you can talk about size.
The auditorium, huh?
NXT does, yeah. Oh, Captain Lou is laying the law down.
Did it fall off?
I don't know.
I believe it did.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess that's why.
Oh yeah, it's right by my leg. This thing keeps going off, and I don't know why, because it's off. It's on buzz. Fucking viruses. That's what it's going off on.
I'm telling you, where are we in this segment, Captain Lou, since you're out here? There's about it. You know what? You could have given us the signal a little early. Oh, all right. Well, again, I'll praise the Lowell Memorial Auditorium as you make your way back to the booth.
Thank you, Justin.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sorry.
That's all right. You should see where the microphones wind up sometimes. The Sheiks have wound up in other parts, across the room at different times. But yeah, I look forward to, after we go through the ECW series. Obviously, there's a great WWF chronological life for you for us to talk about. But that's down the road. We're Tuesday nights. We're Extreme, baby. So as good as it gets, yeah. So you go over on Jerry Lynn, you're introduced as this new character. What do you think the first time you hear Justin Credible? I thought it was a really cool name, but...
I thought it was a bit too much.
Did you?
I did. And now I didn't, because I didn't see what Heyman saw, right? I was a bit nervous because everybody seemed so cool, and Justin Credible almost seemed very... very cartoonish, and I just came from a cartoon gimmick.
You didn't want cartoon.
No, I wanted it, just to be as realistic as, because I thought everybody else was being so authentic and so realistic. So I was scared. I didn't say anything, of course. I'm not going to go against the great Paul Heyman. No pun. I'm not being funny. I'm being serious.
Sure.
He came up with some great ideas. So I didn't want to rattle anything. So I just took it, and as I saw, it started to become more and more natural. But Paul, what Paul had in mind really wasn't where it ended up going, because he intended the Justin Credible gimmick to catch on with the fans, but what he had intended was like fans to be chanting Justin arm drag or just a headlock, like stupid stuff like that. He was trying to get a chant out of it, and I kind of didn't want to go there. So in a way, I just tried to...
It's good that it didn't.
Yeah. I tried to kind of navigate away from the silliness. He wanted to make it a chant to go with the character, and I saw it as a little more serious.
I don't ever remember a chant catching on, though.
It didn't. The only one that did was the Justin asshole.
That's all right. That fits.
But he was headed towards one of the bunch of those, and me playing off of them.
Yeah.
Which I'm glad it didn't.
Like you were Bobby Heenan being called Weasel or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Now, to me, as someone watching it, I thought, wow, a name like that, that's a guy that's going to get a main event push.
Yeah.
But granted, I enjoyed your work as Aldo to begin with, so maybe I was just hoping that's what it was going to be. But as I watched it, just as someone that tuned in at, I think it was 1 o'clock in the morning on the Spanish channel here in Massachusetts. I thought it was a gimmick that was going to get a good push when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think about having someone like Jason as a manager? When you look back at the great managers of pro wrestling, I don't know what you think of him personally, but as far as professionally, not someone looked back at as one of the great managers in the history of pro wrestling.
No.
Someone that really didn't add much at all, other than the fact that he had a physical presence. He wasn't much verbally.
Yeah. I was very, very displeased, but I didn't show anything towards it. I just figured do what anybody else in that position would have done, and that's just kind of no sell him as much as possible. Like not to be a jerk, but kind of like if you almost make him irrelevant.
Right.
Paul could bring him out, put him out there with me. I'm not going to play to him.
You're not
which I
going to
didn't.
sell him. Yep.
Right. But then eventually some stuff started to happen, and I understood that even though he wasn't getting heat for me or he was a great asset to take chair shots and cane shots that I did not want to take.
Well, then there's
and
that.
as a heel, I could use that.
Yeah.
So then I started
And
to
it's a great thing to build for more matches out of that because,
Right.
at first you get the manager,
Yep.
but you didn't get the heel. You didn't get the
Exactly.
villain. You didn't get the antagonist, and you can continue a chase out of that.
And then we started to, and then I warmed up to him a bit more, and I started to understand more of where this could go, and the later incarnations of Jason and I was quite happy with, when we did the Impact Players with Dawn Marie and so forth, but yeah, it was a bit weird at first, it was kind of almost like very unlikely to even work. Like, what's the reason that this works? It was very, and come to find out, him and Paulie were like best friends for a very long time.
So they were close?
Very close, yeah.
Well, that maybe explains why he was around so long.
Yeah.
To me, other than maybe what you just said, I didn't think there was much there compared to some of the great managers that you'd seen in WWF and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and
but
they
just
also,
one man's opinion.
Yeah, and you're right. And they also had the city connection. Jason and Paul knew each other from both being city guys, New York City guys, and Jason did a lot of stuff with the WWF as a jobber.
I remember that, yeah.
And Jason had a good body, a good physique, and a lot of guys in ECW, they were few and far between, because Jason, if you remember, was a former television champion in the early days.
In the early
So Paul kind of
days.
liked him for the silliness of the sexiest man. So, we made it work as best we could.
Well, it was good that, that you see some loyalty and he kept him around.
Yeah.
Maybe even
Yeah.
if he wasn't the best at what the
Yeah.
position entailed. What were your thoughts on your theme song? Where'd that go? Was it something you picked?
That
Did
was
they pick it?
something Paul picked.
He picked it?
Yeah, that was all him. Which I give him credit. Paul was very good at kind of getting a feel for music and the vibe of ECW, because all those songs that kind of came out of that generation and those videos, those montage videos and clips, I mean, that was some great stuff. He had all kinds of classic, Alice in Chains to, whatever was out there. I mean, just on top of it, Soundgarden.
Yeah.
What
Al,
else did
the
he
song
use?
that Al used, I thought was perfect for him. When he was doing the head. What the hell was that?
Oh,
Was it Fire?
Firestarter.
Boom. I just thought that fit what he was doing at that time perfectly. But it's unfortunate now that when you try and go back and at least through
can't, yeah.
WWE Network,
Right.
everything is dubbed over with the music.
Which is such a shame, because that's what really made
it added to the atmosphere.
Yeah,
Added to the atmosphere.
when you watch a New Jack match back, and you watch the stuff. It's a shame.
Yeah.
To really get the full feeling of it, you have to get the old videos from like RF.
Or YouTube or something like that.
It's a shame.
Yeah. What was your first thought pulling up to that ECW arena? I mean, I'm sure you heard stories about it.
Yeah. Funny thing, I had been there before.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And not as a wrestler. Well, I was already a wrestler, but a friend of mine who was from Detroit, John Pee Wee Moore, Little Pee Wee, the referee.
The referee. Yeah.
We were pen pals somehow. Like, we knew Scott D'Amore, like that kid Brett Farrell that went to Calgary with me. Long story short, he knew Pee Wee and Scott D'Amore were friends. So through Scott D'Amore, who I became pen pals with or whatever, called him up once in a while, we were all trying to get booked. That's how it worked. Pee Wee got a hold of me, and he decided to come all the way from Detroit to pick me up in Waterbury, Connecticut, driving, to go to an ECW arena show.
Wow.
When Sal Balomo was there,
Oh,
and it was like
you're
Eastern.
really
It was
going back.
Eastern.
Eastern Championship Wrestling?
Yeah,
Wow.
and they were already like, I think Sabu was starting to go there, and Pee Wee knew Sabu. So it was just kind of a way to meet some people there, and I didn't know anybody.
So you weren't even with WWF at this point?
No, this was
Just
pre.
maybe doing
This was
jobs,
pre
or-
WWF. Yeah, maybe doing some jobs and stuff. Yeah, I didn't know anybody.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's
it
a
was
cool
very
story.
early on. Yeah, never introduced myself. Nothing. Just kind of stayed in the shadows and very shy. Yeah.
I remember even in those old, a name that we tossed out in one of the episodes, Tony Rumble actually did a color commentary way back. I think it was December of '93, he was going down and
Oh, wow.
doing the color commentary for a few episodes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
but
that's
for whatever reason, they decided to go the route of
Yep.
the one-man show, and I think that worked.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think sometimes less is more. I mean, right now, even on the new AEW show that's 1 hour long, they have 4 commentators, and
Yeah,
it's like,
that's
how do you
a little
get?
much.
How do you talk?
Yeah, that's a bit much. Yeah.
If it was a 2-hour show, 3-hour show, I could understand it a little more. But 4 people in a booth
Yeah,
for a
that's
1
way
hour
too
show.
much. Way too much.
But anyway, I think there's a lot of commentary woes in wrestling right now, but that's a different story for a different time.
Yeah.
I still think that when you tune into that wrestling show, and again, this just has nothing to do with what I even wrote, but I think when you watch that wrestling show, the person providing the soundtrack, it's almost like your friend that you're sitting there watching it with. You know what I mean? And if
Absolutely.
it's someone that you don't like or don't want to listen to,
Yep.
or doesn't sound like they know what they're talking about, like I always do, but to knock poor Michael Cole, I
Yeah.
think he's great at voiceovers.
Yeah.
I think he's great when they do interviews like this back and forth. But as far as him trying to get over wrestlers,
Yeah.
angles, moves,
Yeah.
matches, storylines, pay-per-views, to think that anyone in that company thought Jim Ross was not superior to Michael Cole
Yeah.
is insanity to me.
It is.
Because, again, I'm not trying to knock. He's a nice enough guy from when I've met him. But as far as what he does as a commentator, I don't think it's for him.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame because since Jim Ross being gone, I don't think they've found really a good voice. Like I miss the days of, I loved Monsoon. Oh, Monsoon and Heenan. Even when
Jesse.
Vince was great. I used to get a kick out of hearing Vince commentate my matches.
Did you?
That was
Yeah.
ridiculous. It was so cool, and he was always so. Even he just had that weird way of that white meat baby face commentating, But yeah, I think commentating, like you said, it should be that welcoming, familiar voice that kind of brings you in.
It's a friend.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you watch a Raw, but I think the newer guy they have that came from, I think, Bellator, I think he has potential. He's not too bad.
Oh, yeah, I have
I
not
think his name's
watched,
Jimmy Phillips, but
Okay.
yeah, I guess he was a fan of wrestling at one point.
Okay.
He was supposedly, I'm not much of a MMA guy, but
Yeah.
with Bellator, supposedly he was very good. So,
Yeah.
knock on wood, they found someone
Yeah.
that can bring some life back to the commentary. And I'll tell you this, I believe that hurts the ratings.
It
If
doesn't
you
help.
don't want to
It
listen,
doesn't help.
if you don't want to listen to what the soundtrack is for, imagine listening to a radio channel
Yeah.
with music you don't want to listen to for 3 hours. You wouldn't do it.
Sometimes also, it's not what you say, it's when you say it. And that CM Punk debut for Rampage, they brought in Jim Ross for a reason. Just the way he didn't say anything during the music and before,
They
he
let
waited.
it happen.
He waited 60 seconds before he said anything. And I don't know if a Michael Cole would have done the same or whatever. Sometimes
He would have
it's-
been doing that orgasm scream that he
Right.
has.
Some-
Ladies and gentlemen, it's CM Punk.
Sometimes it's just better to let it
play out.
happen, and
Let it
that's
happen.
what he did. And not everybody can do that or knows.
I don't know if you're a Red Sox fan by any chance, but they've run into the same problem. They had a guy named Don Orsillo that was with the Red Sox doing the play-by-play for, over a decade. And then they had a guy that was from ESPN Radio that they thought would be such a great addition.
Yeah.
And all he does is sit there and read these boring, repetitive stats that don't
Yeah.
even apply to what is going on in the game. It's almost like there's a Vince in his headset. Okay, tell the fans that he bats .316 on night games on Thursday after the 7th inning. And it's like, who gives a fuck?
right.
The guy, Jerry Remy, who's kind of a local legend, him and Don Orsillo were just a magical team together in this pundit's opinion. But unfortunately, fans, we are running out of time. Much like the live event we were talking about, this is as good as it gets. It's Wrestling Insiders Extreme every Tuesday night after WWE NXT. The good news is, even though we got to go now, he is going to be back with us next Tuesday night. We thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching during the live premiere, send us your thoughts. Share your thoughts. The Super Chat is open. Again, that helps us keep the lights on. If you're not watching us live, again, I tell you, I may come to the house, even though I got the cane. But leave your comments in the comment section below. If you had fun, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. Let's keep growing what we're doing so we can give more wrestling greats the opportunity to come to this studio,
share their stories with you, their experiences, and keep wrestling legends working. I know Marty gets offended sometimes when I use that phrase. He goes, I don't want people thinking I'm destitute or whatnot. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you're not under a full-time WWE contract or a full-time AEW contract, most likely you could be in a better financial position.
Did use the word.
There you go. All right, for our new partner in crime, Just Incredible, I'm Dan Morale. We'll see you next Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. Be healthy, be well. Good night from Boston.
Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th Anniversary Bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet two-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Styles Slick, the Berzerker, Doink The Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus two-time Impact World Champion Die Hard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, John Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jura Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo, fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th, at an event 20 years in the making. Another great episode of Wrestling Insider's Extreme, folks. Join us every Tuesday night after WWE NXT for a brand new episode. Love having Justin with us. Well-spoken, well-thought-out man. I think he's really going to add a lot to the series as time goes on. Justin is just one of the superstars you can meet. I mean, Aldo Montoya, 2 weeks from tonight, Saturday night, November the 13th, from Memorial Hall, as Boston Wrestling MWF celebrates 2 decades. Our 20th anniversary, back to the 90s bash. It's a wrestling party you are not going to want to miss. We have the live wrestling, the autograph photo fan fest, VIP Q&A, the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. And you know what? After all the bash and Jimmy Kimmel did at Melrose, maybe rightfully so, we're going to do this. We're extending All Hallows Eve into November the 13th. We're going to have a superstar costume contest. That's right, dress up as your favorite superstar from any era of pro wrestling. The best dressed is going to win an awesome autograph prize. This is something I want to do. Melrose is known to take the fun out of things. Believe me, if you'd only known what's going on with this event, but we are going to bring the fun November the 13th to Memorial Hall. Up next on Wrestling Insiders, as you head on over to bostonwrestling.com to get all that VIP and ticket info to make your purchases now, we will delight you with the return of Wrestling Insiders Special Edition. This week, it's another superstar that'll be competing in the ring November the 13th, JTG of Cryme Time, a guy that I love getting together with. We have a lot of fun. If only every superstar could be as easy to work with as Jay. We talk about OVW, Santino Marella, the origins of Santino before he became the fun-loving Italian, Elijah Burke. We talk about Kofi Kingston's WrestleMania 35. Jay was his guest at MetLife Stadium in New York. We talk about The Fiend and Randy Orton from WrestleMania 37. We talk about past King of the Rings. We talk about Jay wanting to get into SummerSlam 1988 at Madison Square Garden in his native New York, and much more. Here's Wrestling Insider's Special Edition. All right, folks, don't forget, we have rotating legends and superstars every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. after AEW Dynamite to continue great nights of professional wrestling online. No matter how you watch our fine programs, we thank you kindly. Of course, you can always join the Patreon for early, ad-free, full-screen, uninterrupted access. Unfortunately, that's one thing that's going to be coming our way in the near future to try to boost the Patreon numbers. We try and keep it as inexpensive as we can to try and get as many of you folks involved as we can, but we can't do it without you. Head on over to patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. This week we're going to be having a Demolition Axe WrestleMania 4 watch along. As he looks at the night, he and Smash won the Tag Team Championship. Great little program for you guys to have some fun with. A Patreon exclusive that won't be available anywhere else. As we continue with Wrestling Insiders Week in Review, as we continue the countdown to where we'll be 2 weeks from right now, Memorial Hall, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts. It's our 20th anniversary Back to the 90s extravaganza, live wrestling, autograph photo fan fest, VIP Q&A, the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks, which is driving me nuts already. Let me tell you, fans, it is going to be a happening for you to not just see an indie show, for you not to go to a WWE TV taping where you forget the matches a couple of weeks later, but legitimately create memories that'll last a lifetime. It is going to be something special. Again, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Now it is time for the halfway point of Wrestling Insiders Week in Review this week, where we don't have Oscar with us. It is time for Wrestling Insiders Party.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome to another Wrestling Insiders. Have you decided yet, fine sir, what you are going to be for Halloween this year?
I usually let my daughter decide. Yeah, because
She picks your costume.
yeah, I go off of what she does. If she's a witch, then I do something that accompanies her. You know what I'm saying? But this year I think she wants to be a unicorn. So I don't know what can I do to.
You'd have to talk to Kofi, I guess.
Oh yeah.
See,
Get some
you
New
get
Day
it
gear.
in. Yeah. He's probably got some old stuff lying around. Well, I think you're a little thicker. You might have to see if Xavier's got something.
Yeah, holla at Xavier. Yeah,
Kofi,
he's cool.
Yeah, Kofi's kind of
on the thin side.
Yeah. Well, we saw what happened at Money in the Bank. But trick or treat, happy Halloween to all you folks out there. It is one of my favorite holidays.
It was definitely my favorite holiday out of the whole year.
It's your favorite holiday?
Yes, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving, in that order.
Well, Thanksgiving, I think, is a little. I don't get it. You know what I mean? You get to have a turkey and some vegetables. I mean, all right.
You can do that on Sunday.
You can do that any day. Yeah, exactly. Right. If you like turkey, you can have it any time. But John Cena Sr. and I enjoyed Spooky World. Not Spooky World. That's the Massachusetts festival. What's it called? Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios in Orlando. Have you ever been?
I live in Los Angeles, and I went to Hollywood Horror Nights a few years. I believe I went twice. I tried to go this year. It was closed in LA.
2020, right.
It was closed in LA, but I went to Orlando, and it was still closed. But I enjoyed Universal Studios anyway. But yes, this year I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of Halloween Horror Nights.
For my 40th birthday, that was what I wanted to do. And then coronavirus
ruined it.
Talk about a kick below the belt. But John Cena Sr., even at his not as young as us age, enjoys Universal Studios and Halloween Horror Nights quite a bit. He was down there with his femme fatale, not to be confused with his main squeeze, Marjo Ouellette from Ms. and Mrs. fame.
Okay. Does he go to the one in Orlando or he goes to the one in LA?
We went to the one in Orlando.
Okay.
Now, have you been to both? Or you haven't?
No, only been to the one in LA, yes.
Now, see, I'm going to have to go to LA next year and see what it's like with you.
I think, well, you do both, but I think Orlando will probably be better. It's always better.
I think it's bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger, definitely bigger.
So I know the park is.
Yes, so definitely got to be.
What I love, though, about the Universal Hollywood, again, to completely shy away from the topics of discussion, they gave us that man, Mr. Ivar. When they won the tag team NXT titles from Undisputed Era, we went out for, it was TakeOver and then Royal Rumble out in Phoenix.
Yeah.
We had a friend that came out from California. So we went from Phoenix to LA, and I used to live part of the year down in Florida. So I'd never been to Universal in California. So we went, and they were so nice. As soon as I walked in, they said, "Oh, sir, come with us." I'm like, "What?
Ooh, special
What is
treatment
this all
already."
about?
Okay.
No, I thought I did something wrong, like I usually do. But no, they gave me this. It almost looked like a miniature golf scorecard. And because of my disability, I'd get to go. They put you through the express lane.
Ooh, you didn't have to pay for that?
No.
You know how much that is?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this is very expensive.
Yes. Well, the gimmick is if it depends on the wait time. If it's longer than a half an hour, they give you time to come back and you can walk right in.
Okay.
Or if it's less, they just let you right in.
Okay.
If it's a nice person, they just let you right in. So I mean, we went through that park like
within probably like 2 hours.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the only thing is though, it was so much smaller compared to Florida.
Yes.
So with the pros come the cons.
Yes, it is.
And I have never been to Disneyland.
Never been to Disneyland
Never
yet?
been to Disneyland.
Well, you've been to Disney World.
Many times.
Okay, it's way bigger. Just know that.
Disneyland is bigger.
No, Disney World is way bigger. Yeah. So you're not really missing
Orlando,
too much.
it's almost like the Monday Night Wars they get going on with the theme parks. I guess SeaWorld is like ECW in the 90s version of things. I don't
And
know.
they got rid of the damn Shamu. Why are people going to SeaWorld now for?
They still have whales because we went in right before Christmas last year, and they had a show with whales.
But Shamu was the Hulk Hogan of the SeaWorld. Who's the Hulk Hogan now? Who's the main attraction?
To me, they all do the same spots. I don't know. They're whales.
They all drop leg drops.
They're whales. I don't know. But I'm like a big kid when it comes to stuff like that. My two favorite cities. I love Orlando, and then for me, like with the Cauliflower Alley Club, we have that wonderful backdrop behind the cameras of Sin City. Now, do you ever get to go out there where you're in LA?
I love Vegas.
Now,
I have a lot of fun in Vegas. But whatever happened there, I can't talk about it now.
What are your favorite spots in Vegas?
What's my favorite spot? What's that? Inferno. Disco Inferno. He works at he works at a strip club out there.
Does he?
He hooks the boys up.
Oh, well, Godfather, they had the Cheetah Club.
Oh, he still has it?
No.
Oh.
He retired from the business.
He retired from pimping? You can't retire from pimping. Pimping is in your blood.
I think he's still pimping.
Pimping is for life.
He just, not in official capacity.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
On paper, I guess, is the
gotcha.
best way to put it. But even our president, Dr. David Reese, she's trying to develop a property out there for the women called Reese's Pieces. So we'll have to.
Ooh, Reese's Pieces. I like that. That's pretty
We'll
clever.
have to wait and see how that comes to be. But now that's one of the reasons why I look forward to the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion every year. Not only, is it a great group that raises money for a great cause, but people say, how can you stand going to Vegas for more than a couple of days?
Yeah,
I go for a couple of weeks.
No, I can only do max 3 days.
Why
in
is
Vegas. You get there on, let's say, Friday. You don't get any sleep. It's nonstop partying, drinking. Your body needs to get a nice reset. You need to recover from that.
Do you bring any of the goods with you?
I got to beat them off with a stick. Dan. They're sliding in DMs. They're banging on my door. What's that smell? Is that coming from room 316 or room 112?
Okay, Stone Cold.
Room 112.
Well, Annie, eat your heart out when JTG is in Las Vegas. But you know what? Where can you get that again?
shbeardcare.com. We cover beard and body. Walk around Vegas smelling like butterscotch. The ladies love it.
Well, you know what? I got Linda Moratti to smile at me when I tried it, so that was actually a big improvement. For Halloween, she said, you know what, I'm not doing much. I'm just going to go with my usual routine of the broomstick. And, she has that 365 days a year, unless it's leap year, when she tosses an extra one. But that's a different story for a different time. We hope you all enjoy your Halloween trick-or-treating this weekend. You all stay safe because we want you all to be joining us in just a little over 2 weeks, Saturday night, November the 13th. But Halloween Horror Nights, I recommend it to anyone. It's huge, 12 haunted houses. Again, for John Cena Sr., it almost scared the piece off of him.
It did. It scared the crap out of me.
Tight glue.
Yeah, I try to be a badass in that park. You cannot be a badass during Halloween Horror Nights.
He said the only thing that came close was when Marjo Ouellette, Maurice's mother, got a little frisky with him and tried to pull.
Tug?
She forgot what was shoot and what was work on there with the moss, you know what I mean? So, and then she started tugging something else. But they're not going to put that on the reality show. All right, we were talking about Elijah Burke, OVW, and so much great stuff in our last episode. We kind of lost track, as we do in every episode. Who else, when you started training in OVW, when you were doing those hellacious bus rides from New York City to Louisville, who else was in your class at that point that people might remember?
Santino Marella.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yes, we came up together. We both trained through RIP also.
And he's got to have a few years on us.
He's exactly 10 years older than me.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so I'm 36.
So he broke in really
late.
late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing judo. Yeah, he was doing judo.
So he must have been around 30?
Yeah, around that time.
Okay.
And then who else came up with me? Elijah, Santino, who else? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's plenty more. Oh, Serena Deebs.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Serena Deebs. I remember when the first time she walked into OVW.
I thought she was actually, and again, I'm not the world's biggest women's wrestling fan, but I like good women's wrestling, and I think she's solid.
Oh, yeah, she's great, yeah.
Yeah, they did a good job.
If Cornette
with her.
puts you over, you're good.
I didn't know he put her over.
Oh, he put her over
she
big
is,
time, yeah.
She's good.
Yeah. Who else came through? We all know who came up with me in that school. If I think of any more, I'll let you know. But there's a few more, but I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Send me a postcard.
Yeah.
Not while we're on the air or anything. But then again, how many questions did I send you in advance to prepare for? It's why it's a shoot, baby. It's a shoot. You know, sometimes people say, "Oh, don't call it a shoot. That's so negative." Blah 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 blah. But to me, when you say shoot, it's just
right
honest.
from the hip, right there. Boom.
That's all.
Right at the top of the dome.
Shoot, you can have nice shoot interviews.
Yeah.
It's about honesty as opposed to me, there's a difference between a shoot interview, which is where you're talking
from the heart,
realistically about life, and then there's the pro wrestling aspect of an interview,
trying
which
to
is
sell
more
something
towards
and
what's going on inside the squared circle, so to speak, in our lingo. But we do shoot from the hip. But did anyone impress you? I mean, were you impressed with someone like Elijah right away, or a Santino? Did they take to the business or the aspect of the in-ring?
I was definitely impressed by both of them. You know, Santino Marella was not even the Santino Marella that we know today. He was actually he was doing a Russian gimmick, and he was a badass Russian, and he used his judo knowledge and he was squashing guys in OVW. And then one day he gets the call, and they say, "Can you do a Italian accent?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he said, "Say something in Italian." I think he said like "hello" or something. And he's like, "Okay, we need you for to be in Italy on this day for Monday Night Raw." So he had to, out of nowhere, he just dropped the Russian gimmick, and all of a sudden he was in Italian.
What was his name? Do you remember?
Boris Kozlov, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Boris. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of gave him that big, huge introduction. They brought him in out of the crowd to beat Umaga over in Italy. And then it was like he was just forgotten about for about 6 months. They did not really nothing.
He was the IC champion, yeah?
Yeah, and they really did nothing with him or the Intercontinental title. It was strange.
I'm glad
it was like they just you know what? Let's do something creative in Europe. Do we have anyone that's Italian in OVW? Then they used them, and then they just. It's not like they did anything bad with them. They just did nothing with them for a while. Were you there for that? No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't there. We had just our first release. Shad and I just got released.
That's right.
Yes, we had just got released.
That's right. But was a good guy? John Cena Sr. speaks very highly of him.
Santino?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a great guy. I stay in touch with him a lot. Yeah.
Segment 1? Thank you, sir.
Yeah, me and him are still great friends. We stay in touch. Yeah, he just had his second son.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Jeez.
He's doing
Still
good.
pumping him out.
And he has his Battle Arts Academy out in Canada.
And that's a combination of things, right?
Yeah, he does wrestling and he does martial arts.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're in Canada, definitely check out his school.
You kind of narrow it down a little more.
I think it's Ontario. It was in Toronto, somewhere near Toronto.
All right, I was going to say, it'd be like saying, well, if you're in the United States,
check out. You land in New York, you're like, oh, it was in California.
Oh, so you must have almost been kind of like a baby to some of those guys.
Yeah.
Santino was so much younger, and Elijah's probably got, if he's got a couple of years on me, he's probably got 6 or 7 on you, maybe?
Yep.
Yeah, so you
Bert, when I got to OVW, he just got on OVW television, and then within a few months, he was well, not a few months, I'll say maybe like a year, he was the OVW champion, Elijah Burt.
Was he the OVW champion?
Yeah. Cornette put the title. That's when Cornette was there.
Well, Cornette, I guess, saw what we saw.
Yeah.
Instead of being Sylvester Terkai's flunky as his introduction to WWE.
And what happened to Sylvester Terkai? Oh, man.
Whatever happened to Sylvester Terkai? Did you train with him at all?
No, I did not. No, I did not train with him, no.
I couldn't think of anything Sylvester Terkai has done.
He had a cool jacket.
Yeah, they had those little, and Elijah kind of kept the colors, I think, yeah. Sylvester was trying to hawk his on eBay as ring one gear or something. I don't know what happened to the guy. He had great size. You'd think he was being groomed as someone or something important. I remember down the street in Worcester, Massachusetts in it was September of 06 because it was the month I got engaged. He worked a squash match on SmackDown and put him over. Viking Raider Ivar.
Oh, really?
Todd Hansen, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you go back, I don't know if it's on WWE Network because I know not everything's loaded on Peacock as of yet, but I think it was the second week in September of 2006 on SmackDown. He put over Terkai, and I guess Vince was very, very happy with him as he put Todd over when he came back through the curtain, thanking him for making Terkai look so good. And to me, the whole act with Terkai was Burke I don't know if Burke was his manager or his coach or whatever it was, but you could tell Burke had something. And to me, Terkai, other than his size, had absolutely nothing. One man's opinion. I don't know. What did you? Were you
Turcotte, yeah, Elijah kind of. I want to say he stole the spotlight, but Elijah Burke, he just shined. He shined through the position he was given, and he became the what's he call it? The face of ECW, the new face. What's it called? They had the new breed, and then they had
the new breed. Yeah.
No. No, they had two different divisions.
Breed. Was that WCW?
Was it
New Breed?
ECW? Yeah. Remember that
Was
WrestleMania?
ECW? I remember. Yeah, the originals versus the
New Breed. It's probably called the New Breed.
Maybe it was the New Breed.
Yeah, he was the face of the New Breed. Yeah. And
that was such a sad. We're going to get there as the time frame goes on, but that ECW was just so sad. I mean, that'd be like. I know you're not much of a baseball guy, but that'd be like trying to resurrect the Montreal Expos.
Oh wow.
In 2021. What's your favorite sport?
Besides wrestling?
I like that.
Probably boxing, maybe.
Do you like any team sports? Really? Nothing? Not a hoops guy? Not a football? I know you don't like baseball.
I never got into sports.
You were just a wrestler.
I thought it was just extra stress. I see how my family members would just like lose their mind when their team would lose, and they're all stressful. Like, I can't believe he didn't pass the ball. Like, relax. They didn't cut promos. You know, I didn't get sold on unless it was the playoffs. I didn't really get sold on it. It was like, it's just a game.
Are you a UFC guy?
I'll watch a good UFC fight. You know, if
so you're kind of like me then.
Yeah.
Very casual.
Yeah.
If you've never been though, it's almost like going to MSG for wrestling. Seeing a UFC fight in Vegas in person is really cool. We went to the one Cormier against. People are going to laugh at me, but the Russian guy. When Lesnar did the run-in after it was over, which I thought.
Oh, you were there for that?
Yeah, that was really good. I think it was their version of WrestleMania. They call it Fight Week.
Okay.
So they did a Hall of Fame where Rousey was inducted, and I knew virtually no one else. There was a fan fest, and I actually got to meet Chuck Liddell, who would be one of the few
Chuck
that
Liddell's
I know.
very cool guy. Yeah.
Really nice guy. Really nice guy.
A few times in LA.
Yeah. I actually took a picture, and I'm not really a picture guy, but I took a picture with him. But it's as a very, very casual fan, it was really a lot of fun to go to that fight week in Vegas.
Nice.
So if you ever get the chance, you or anybody watching at home, I think it's called T-Mobile Arena in Vegas,
yes,
their arena. Yeah. Check out a UFC fight. I don't think it's cheap. I remember they did one in Boston. Oh, and can I get angry for a minute?
You get 4 minutes, 2 minutes if you want. Yeah.
You know, he didn't even drop the title. But the first time UFC came to Boston would have been, I think, 2010. And it was a really big deal because it was the first time. And the tickets for like lower loge were going for like $600 or $700.
Oh my gosh.
I worked as a commercial account executive for Comcast at the time, not too far from here, and I got 3 comps. You know, I could have sold those for decent money.
Yeah.
We brought someone that was one of our champions at the time, and we wound up. He was part of the faction. We were lucky enough to have John Bradshaw Layfield involved with our organization while he was Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, okay.
So as part of our first holiday Headlocks endeavor for the Paul Bearer Toy Drive, Ron Simmons was here in this fine studio. And I said, wouldn't it be great if his faction members, JBL's faction members, came down to join him? But because the excuse was Sunday was the day independent wrestlers spent with their girlfriends, they didn't come. And I was
I didn't know about this.
quite spirited about it online. And to their credit, 2 of them took it like champs. One of them is one of the top stars in the industry right now. I tip my cap to him. Another is still active with us in the company, but 2 took it like crybabies. Came to the event we had a couple of weeks later, and supposedly told me he wasn't coming back, even though he was the television champion of 4 years, where a lot of great talent had put him over, like Carlito, Uncle Al, Jay Lethal was who he won it from. You know, so there was quite an investment in this talent. And he got the comp ticket to the UFC fight, and then he wouldn't drop the belt. And he claimed, if he told me he wasn't coming back, could you envision a scenario where we wouldn't have had a match where the title was removed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I call it bullshit.
Okay.
All right, well, maybe you call it bullshit too. But one thing that's not bullshit, baby, look at what Kofi Kingston's going to show you coming up now.
Cheer. Why, hello.
I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th Anniversary Bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet two-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Style Slick, the Berzerker, Doink The Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus two-time Impact World Champion Die-Hard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, John Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jura Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo, fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th, at an event 20 years in the making.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marty.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
Here's your chance to own a piece of history from the 2020 WWE Draft. On the second night, October the 12th, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa Bliss unleashed hell on Andrade and Zelina Vega. This limited edition 11x14 collector's poster is number 26 of only 50 made, personally signed by both The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, direct from friends at WWE. Comes with certificate of authenticity hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing. You'll also receive a bonus autographed mystery photo and an on-air shout-out as our thanks to you. Get this ultra-rare autographed Fiend and Alexa Bliss poster now.
Hi, wrestling fans, welcome back to this Halloween edition of Wrestling Insider Special Edition. As we prepare for the big one, Saturday night, November the 13th, there's going to be a lot of treats going on, and you never know. With the Uprising faction, there could be a lot of tricks, as you've seen on some of the lead-in. We have a lot of scumbags in the Millennium Wrestling Federation, a lot of people that pull off dastardly deeds inside the squared circle, but I'm ready to see you make your in-ring Boston Wrestling MWF debut.
I can't wait to hit the Memorial
Hall.
I'm excited about it, yeah.
RMSG.
Your
MSG.
MSG.
A little smaller,
but it's okay. Yeah.
Beautiful venue on the inside, and as we,
And I heard the crowd is going to get hot. The crowd gets hot.
They have to have people stand on the roof so it doesn't blow off. That's how hot the action is.
That's how we're going to blow the roof off, huh?
But as crazy as it is to say, we're kind of approaching 2022. With that comes our marquee event, Soul Survivor 10.
Ooh.
I know our championship is going to be kind of reintroduced as not the MWF, but the Boston Wrestling Sports MWF Heavyweight Championship. There's going to be quite a competition put together that has been talked about behind the scenes.
Tournament style? Doing a tournament?
I hate tournaments.
You hate tournaments? Okay.
I'm not a tournament guy.
So you hated King of the Ring,
And I hate Yeah.
You hated King of the Ring?
Yeah.
I love King of the Ring.
What did you like about King of the Ring?
I guess I loved it because Bret Hart, that's how I was introduced to it. He won the first one. And I just
No, he didn't, though.
He didn't? Oh, no, he did not. That's, okay, the new generation King of the Ring. I'm sorry.
The first pay-per-view one.
Yes, the first pay-per-view one.
For the fans that don't know, the first two King of the Ring tournaments took place at the home of the New England Patriots before they tore the stadium down in Foxborough, Massachusetts. They were large, almost house shows put together by a man named Eddie Andelman, who was the top sports talk radio personality in Boston. Then after that, in 85 and 86, they moved it to a September house show in Providence.
Okay.
So Bret was actually a 2-time King of the Ring. I believe he won it in '91 in
Oh,
Providence.
wow. I love, that's why I love coming here chopping it up with Dan.
See,
Learn
you
something
didn't
new.
even know that. Now, I'm going to get it wrong, but there was one year they skipped from 85 to 93 when it went on pay-per-view. The first two were in Providence. Morocco and Harley Race were the first two Kings of the Ring. And Harley actually took it.
So Harley Race was in the tournament and won.
He actually won it, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then they used it on TV.
Okay.
Morocco won the first one, and they never did anything with it.
Okay, so question. King Haku, how did he become king?
Tama left when they were the Islanders.
So you just
Harley Race did one of the first table spots in WWF history and destroyed his intestines. So because they were both part of the Bobby Heenan family, I guess
he passed the throne?
he kind of, well, you know, he was on the disabled list, so to speak. And they had nothing for Haku without Tama.
Yeah.
So they named him king. And then Harley came back. And even though he was already the king, they had the Battles of the King at Royal Rumble '89, which was Harley Race's swan song in WWF at that time. And Haku remained king. Even though one of Howard Finkel's only screw-ups that I can remember in all the years of watching WWF, I imagine it's edited on WWE Network, but if you can ever find an original version of WrestleMania 5, when Haku was coming down, you know, and all the guys carrying the gimmick, they introduced him as King Tonga, which is what he was known as in probably 85?
That was a slip.
85-ish?
I wonder if he got chewed out for that.
I don't know, but honestly,
nowadays you'll get fired for that. So imagine if they fired Howard Finkel back then. We would have had gotten the classics, the one of the greatest announcers of all time because of that one.
Over one slip of the tongue. And I tell you, that whole introduction to that show is a disaster because, I don't know if you remember, Rockin' Robin is the women's champion, Jake the Snake's sister.
Yeah, I did. I just found out about on Dark Side of the Ring.
You didn't know they were related?
I had no clue.
Oh, well, see, Dark Side of the Ring was good for that. Yeah. As opposed to the Dark Side that our good friend Annie in Boston likes. But they didn't have a women's title match, so they had her sing the national anthem. But there was something wrong with the acoustics and the music in the building, and she couldn't hear the background music. So she was singing the national anthem.
Off cue?
And then they went from that to, from the Isle of Tonga, weighing in at 275 pounds, King Tonga!
Oh, Vincent there. Oh, my God.
So the first few minutes of WrestleMania 5 were just a little crazy for whatever reason. You know what I mean? And it was a lot. Those two Atlantic City WrestleManias went. Now, did Margie bring in either of those? That wasn't too far away.
No, I don't think she went to Atlantic City. No.
Just MSG.
Just MSG. Yep.
SummerSlam '88.
You know what? '88. I believe we tried to get tickets. That was when
sold out quick.
That's when Macho Man and Elizabeth.
The Mega Powers met the Mega Bucks.
Was the one with Elizabeth and Macho Man? Would they get married?
Hulk? No, that was '91.
That was '91?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. '88.
'88 was the Hogan and Macho against Andre and DiBiase with Jesse as the referee.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, I remember she tried to get, but yeah, so it was sold out. And then I also remember going to MSG, going to Ticketmaster, and she was like, "All right, we're gonna get the ticket." I was so excited, and then we got to the window, it was sold out. And I'm like, did we get the tickets? Are we front row? Like, I wanted front row so bad.
Front row? You couldn't even get in the building.
I couldn't even get in the building, so we didn't have cable at the time, but I remember going by my uncle's house to watch the pay-per-view. I mean, it was the best that, she was like, I can't get us in the building, but at least.
They didn't offer cable, or you just didn't have it?
I don't think we had, in that, because the cable companies worked in different sections. I don't think they came to our section of the neighborhood yet. So we didn't have cable, so we went to my uncle's house, and she paid for the pay-per-view so we could watch.
We had the same problem in this city. The first pay-per-view I think we were able to get would have been Great American Bash 1988.
Ooh.
So for the first few WrestleManias when I was a fan as a kid, I had no access to it.
Yeah.
As much as my father hated taking me to the live events, he certainly wasn't taking me to the Garden for the closed circuit version. But he had a friend that lived in the city that had the pay-per-view who watched it, and he'd
Did they charge you?
tape it.
Oh, he taped
No,
it for
he
you.
was a friend, so
Oh,
he'd give
okay.
my father
Yeah.
the tape the next day. And then I'm like, ooh, you know, I'd be at school all day,
Can't
wanting
wait
to
to
see
get home.
WrestleMania, whatever it might have been. But you know, the good old days when you
And they didn't have spoilers back then, you know.
Right.
They didn't have
back in the good old days when you looked forward to the shows,
Uh-huh.
the 4 big pay-per-view events, as opposed to nowadays when it's
every 12.
it's just another night.
We went from 4 pay-per-views to 12. Sometimes two a month.
And you talk,
Less is more. We talked about that earlier.
absolutely. And you talk about false advertising. Macho Man trying to push Elizabeth wearing the itsy bitsy, teeny weeny polka dot bikini to try and distract DiBiase and Andre.
Oh yeah. Like,
And then
really.
for the finish, she gets up on the apron and she had on like a granny bathing suit. You know, there was no itsy bitsy, teeny weeny anything.
we weren't in that era yet. That wasn't the Attitude Era
But
yet.
still, DiBiase,
he dropped. Oh, he sold it like.
he
sold it.
It was like that. I never saw the match, but there was a joke at one of the house shows that Owen Hart, I guess, hit Mick Foley with a giant bag of popcorn, and Foley sold it like he was in one of those landmine matches in Japan. DiBiase selling that bikini like that.
Like she was
as a kid,
naked.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, that's not a
stop it.
bikini. She's, you know, she's covered from breast down to almost her mid-thigh. But I guess Macho, you know,
Yeah,
at least he let her out of the closet. So that was,
Oh man, I was hoping that was just a rumor, but no.
no. And then do you think Lanny should have had his own closet?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh,
That's
shoot
a-
from the hip.
That's quite a skill to have.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not limber enough to pull that off. I don't know about you.
Ooh, oh, Lanny, the
Lanny
genius.
Lanny was originally going to be with us at Back to the 80s WrestleFest.
Oh, what happened?
He moved to Ecuador.
What?
He's
What'd he
left
do?
the country.
Why?
That I don't know. Maybe a more private beach space for him to do his service.
Do his thing? Okay.
His servicing.
Well, he's a genius, so he's
He's
5 steps
He
ahead of
figured
us.
it out.
Yeah.
He said he was never alone during quarantine time. He pulled it off great. But you know, luckily with the great staff we have here, we're able to pull off an all-star lineup of 80s legends that are going to be with us, along with modern superstars such as yourself.
Yeah, I'm not from the 80s. Well, I am from the 80s.
You were
I was born in the 80s.
yeah.
Yeah, but I will be there.
It's going to be a hell of a night. I can't wait to see the in-ring debut of JTG and Boston Wrestling at our home of Memorial Hall. Not one of the B cities, the A city, the Garden for us.
I can't wait.
But back to what we were talking about, your actual career. You know, when you'd go back to New York, what was a normal life like for you? Would you tell your friends about what you were doing on the weekends? Or it must have been hard to maintain a lot of friendships when half your week was on a bus.
I know, right? They were very supportive there because they were wrestling fans too, but it was still out of their, like, to become a WWE superstar. It was kind of like, their mind was like, really? Like, well, go for it. We'll support you. And then I remember when I actually did make it, I know there was like, when I called my the one who did my theme song that I come out to now, I remember calling him. I was like, yo, I just got signed. He was, stop playing with me. You did it? You actually did that? You act like he was like still like his mom was like, I don't believe you, man. You serious? I'm like, yeah, I just got the call. And he was like, so all those matches we had in the hallway in the apartment building, it paid off. Congratulations, man. You did it. And I'm like, oh, thank you. And he was rapping at the time, and I was like, we were so close. He did my theme song that I come out to now.
I can't wait to hear it.
Oh yeah. You're gonna hear it at the Memorial Hall with everybody else on.
It's that roof.
November.
We're trying to, it's almost like the Titanic. We're trying to,
hold it down.
The roof, holding the roof down, baby. I feel the same way about how your friend described about Todd, Viking Raider Ivar. There is a guy. I helped him get a job where Linda Marotti and I worked when he was a much younger version of himself. He would help me babysit the older of the two when we'd go on. Boy, did he get to go on some adventures with me and Todd back in the day. But just how overwhelmingly proud I am. The fact that, WrestleMania week I'm in Tampa, and I see an action figure of someone that was in this studio, like I mentioned before, every Sunday, working on his promos, hanging out here. And I tell you, I had such a great idea for a program with him and Kofi when they signed Kofi.
What was that? What was that program?
06.
06?
No, they were gonna feud with each other.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Here,
And-
you could do that here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
They got signed.
believe it or not, Kofi thought it was better for his career to go to WWE than remain with us. I was a little insulted, but you know what? It kind of worked out
I think
good
you
for
made the
him, I
wrong
guess.
decision, Kofi. You don't know what could have happened here.
You know what? I'll put you on the spot right now.
What's up?
Should they have closed WrestleMania 35 with him?
Opposed to Ronda Rousey
Yes.
and Becky Lynch?
That nobody cared about in Charlotte in the three-way match.
People
The
cared about
politically correct. No.
I think they cared about it.
No.
But it shouldn't have.
No. I was in the friend. I hate to. Sometimes I shouldn't say these things, but I was in the friends and family section.
Okay.
And I remember.
I was front row. I was there.
I know.
Oh yeah.
You're over already, brother.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
over.
the help I can get. You got the beard gear. You got the strawberry lemonade. You get your career on national television. You don't need it. I'm dilapidated and in my 40s. I need as much help as I can get. But I just remember leaving in the elevator, and everybody was quiet. And I've been to, between my long 9 months that I worked with Ed Cohen in WWE and all the ones I've been to in general, probably 15 or so WrestleManias.
Yeah.
And it was the only time everybody was quiet when they were leaving.
Yeah.
They just didn't. It was almost like they weren't ready for the show to be over, and they didn't particularly, not that they disliked what they saw, but the crowd really wasn't rambunctious.
And not to add insult to injury, I can't remember. Who won that triple threat match again? I know it wasn't
Becky.
Becky.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No disrespect to Becky. I love Becky's in work, but I just didn't remember.
She's very solid. She's very solid.
I think the most memorable thing that night was definitely Kofi. I think that definitely should have closed the show.
Was it WrestleMania main event worthy? No. And I will argue
They were going through their
bone.
women's wrestling. They wanted to prove that woman could main event, and it,
even though when they started to push the women, Raw was at 3.5 million each week, and now it's at less than half of that. At least they can say, we were PC. We had the first female WrestleMania main event. And then 2 years later, even though it was a two-night show, we had the first female main event with all black women in it main event, even though nobody cared, and Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre kicked ass in the opening match.
Yeah.
Nothing again, and Sasha was with us too, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm knocking
Sasha came?
She's a Boston girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What do they call it? Boston. Yeah, she's from Boston.
She used to sell sneakers at the Cambridge Side Galleria Mall, if you know where that is.
Wow.
Yeah.
She worked at Foot Locker or something?
I don't remember. It might have been.
Might have been?
I
Okay.
remember she sold shoes out of the mall.
Oh, wow.
And she came such a long way. I remember she did an angle with Awesome Kong once with us, which was kind of a interesting dynamic, because you know what a little thing Mercedes to us, but Sasha is. And she's very close with John Cena Sr., but not to say there was anything wrong with her and Bianca. I thought they had a fine match, but to me, it's just not the main event of WrestleMania. And I think when you try and shove that down people's throats, it turns people away.
And what was the main event for the second night? I'm trying to remember.
Roman.
Oh yeah, Roman. Yeah, Roman. The triple
And that
threat.
was really good,
that was a
too.
good match. Yeah, the triple threat. Yep.
The reason I think that one was so good, out of both nights, that was the only time the kid got out of his chair and was really clapping and chanting and into it. You know what I mean? He really enjoyed it, both nights.
Yeah.
But he was actually, during the triple threat with Roman, Edge, and Bryan, was up, standing and cheering. He really wanted Edge.
How did he enjoy that Bray Wyatt match?
I think he was as confused as I was.
Okay. What was it? It was Bray Wyatt. Versus Randy. Yeah, I didn't.
Oh my God.
I still don't know what happened. Yeah.
And Bray is still yet. I don't know by the time this airs. Maybe he'll be a Halloween surprise. I think they lit that poor man's career on fire when Randy burned him at TLC last year. That was the hottest gimmick in wrestling. It was the most over thing in WWE.
Both gimmicks.
It was selling. No, I hate Mr. Rogers, Bray Wyatt. Oh.
You know, no, we're talking about when he was with the group.
Oh! When he was Waylon Mercy.
Yeah,
Bray
I
Wyatt.
love that gimmick.
I thought you were talking about.
No.
When he does that Mr. Rogers routine, I think it hurts him. Honestly, I think it. Yeah. Hi, kids, and then the little puppets and please.
Yeah.
But Fiend Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
Over as.
Yes, we know.
But to light him on fire like that, and I don't know what's happened since with them, but I mean, when you move as much merchandise as Fiend was moving, you don't have him play second fiddle
Do you think he has
possess
heat
Alexa
backstage or
Bliss.
somebody
I don't
had it
know.
out for him? Or somebody has it out for his dad and they're taking it out on his son?
Maybe the IRS is after him. I don't know. Maybe he owes taxes. And I tell you this, to talk about the family. Oh, thank you. Was that the official closing, Howard? Yes. All right, thank you. Bo Dallas, mother of God. They gave him every goofy gimmick on TV. You know, believe, and then the social outcasts, and then B team.
Yeah.
Go. Shit you'd never want to see as a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
But if you went to a non-televised event, a house show, super show, WWE Live, whatever you call it, him and Apollo Crews always stood out to me as two guys that had so much that they never get to show on television. Bo Dallas was so crisp, so solid, so good. I mean, I don't know if he's a guy that's going to main event pay-per-views for you, but could he have been elevated in a serious fashion to a guy that's setting the pivot, setting the pick for the guys that are going to be in the pay-per-view main events? Absolutely.
Okay.
Did they miss the boat on Bo Dallas? I mean,
Maybe a second run.
As far as his in-ring work goes, I think better than Bray.
Really?
I'm not saying gimmick.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
talking about the actual in-ring work.
Okay.
When the cameras weren't on and he was allowed to actually go out there and have wrestling matches, I think it was better than Bray.
I think he'll be back. He'll probably go get his body right, get his mind right, and he'll be right. Probably be right back.
Well, as quote unquote, he's living all right because look at who he's living with.
Who's he living with?
Liv.
Oh, spill the
He's
tea,
living the
Dad.
good
Spill the
life.
tea. I didn't know that.
He's living the good life. All right, folks, we're getting ready to wrap up. You know, Bo's always got a treat going, whether it's Halloween, and that's no trick. I don't know when we're going to see The Fiend again, but it would be apropos to be around Halloween time if we haven't seen him yet.
Yes, I would love to see the Fiend back in action.
But I'm telling you this, if you're looking to give your loved one, your friends, family members, a great gift for Halloween, nothing would be better than all-inclusive VIP or tickets to our big live event, our 20th anniversary, back to the 80s WrestleFest, Saturday night, November the 13th, from the historic Memorial Hall, 2 blocks down the street that way, on Main Street, Melrose, Massachusetts, in the zip code of Champions 02176. We're going to have the VIP exclusive question and answer session. We're going to have the Autograph Photo Fan Fest. We're going to have action galore inside the squared circle with the superstars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow coming together at one time. Again, so many combustible elements. The Autograph and Photo Fan Fest, the in-ring wrestling, the toy drive efforts we're going to do for Paul Bearer, the in-ring debut of Mr. Home Shopping Channel himself. Are you going to have any of the goods?
We'll see. I'm gonna see if I can pack an extra bag. You know, I got a lot of stuff.
If the fans buy some of that strawberry lemonade, Memorial Hall could turn into an orgy in the middle of the
Wow. With the T-Moss too.
We might need to get some extra police officers on hand. I don't know.
You got T-Moss for the libido and the testosterone, and you're smelling good. It's like, ooh.
Oh, you take it on over to Kowloon afterwards, my God.
Will it still be open? I really wanted to make it this trip, but I couldn't do it.
It is.
Is it going to be open?
Yep.
In November?
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of years before it closes down.
Oh, then yeah.
They have to go
we'll
through
be at
so
Kowloon's.
many permits and construction and all those types of things.
I will be in Calhoun.
You know, they might even use one of those boats they have hanging from the ceiling.
After party at Kowloon's, November 13th.
Yeah, no autographs and photos, though. It's a Kowloon rule. All right, for JTG, I'm Dan Marotti. We'll see you next week on Wrestling Insider Special Edition. Happy Halloween.
Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th anniversary bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet two-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Style Slick, the Berzerker, Doink the Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus two-time Impact World Champion Die-Hard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, John Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jorah Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th, at an event 20 years in the making. All right, folks, don't forget, we have rotating legends and superstars every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. after AEW Dynamite to continue great nights of professional wrestling online. No matter how you watch our fine programs, we thank you kindly. Of course, you can always join the Patreon for early, ad-free, full-screen, uninterrupted access. Unfortunately, that's one thing that's going to be coming our way in the near future to try to boost the Patreon numbers. We try and keep it as inexpensive as we can to try and get as many of you folks involved as we can, but we can't do it without you. Head on over to patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. This week we're going to be having a Demolition Axe WrestleMania 4 watch-along. As he looks at the night, he and Smash won the Tag Team Championship. Great little program for you guys to have some fun with. A Patreon exclusive that won't be available anywhere else. As we continue with Wrestling Insiders Week in Review, as we continue the countdown to where we'll be 2 weeks from right now, Memorial Hall, downtown Melrose, Massachusetts. It's our 20th anniversary Back to the 90s extravaganza, live wrestling, autograph photo fan fest, VIP Q&A, the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks, which is driving me nuts already. Let me tell you, fans, it is going to be a happening for you to not just see an indie show, for you not to go to a WWE TV taping where you forget the matches a couple of weeks later, but legitimately create memories that'll last a lifetime. It is going to be something special. Again, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Now it is time for the halfway point of Wrestling Insiders Week in Review this week, where we don't have Oscar with us. It is time for Wrestling Insiders Party with Marty. Believe me, this was a tough episode for Marty, not for Marty being Marty, but because of the topics we discussed. First, Marty discusses both winning and not winning the WWF Tag Team titles from the Hart Foundation on an episode of what was supposed to be the main event, airing the day after Thanksgiving. We discuss Chuck Austin breaking his neck in a match against Sean and Marty at a TV taping in Tampa, Florida, and tons more as Marty continues his no-holds-barred sex, drugs, and rock and roll look at the 80s and 90s. Stand by.
Wrestling fans, welcome to another Wrestling Insiders. We are literally, like we noted, counting down the days, 9 days away. This event was supposed to take place in April of 2020, but because of the coronavirus, it got bumped. But now, baby, the only bumping you're going to see is in the squared circle, November the 13th at Memorial Hall, when we go back to the 80s. Meet and greet the legends, take part in the VIP exclusive question and answer session. And then, let me tell you something, the athletes of today, the future stars you're going to see on WWE and AEW tomorrow, they are going to blow the roof off of Memorial Hall. It is going to be one fantastic night. Again, tickets on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. We also kick off the annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. We're going to have a mega jackpot of prizes thanks to some of our great friends in Stamford, Connecticut at WWE, some of our great friends at NXT and the Performance Center down in Orlando, some of the great third-party vendors that we work with. It's almost going to be like the old Bozo the Clown show, where the kid would win that big jackpot of prizes. We're going to do the same thing at Memorial Hall. I know you're looking forward to it.
I know. I was going to ask you, can I get in the lottery?
No.
Why?
It's only open to the fans.
All right.
Unless you want to buy a ticket, like Tony did the first time he worked the show.
His first show.
Tony could buy a ticket.
How much?
Raffle tickets?
Yes.
I believe they start at only $5.
All right,
You could win over $1,000 in prizes for $5 while helping the toy drive.
That much?
Because as we like to say, we are helping Santa Claus update his GPS to make sure he finds. Oh, well, that's a lot of raffle tickets. And also today, it's worth noting, I think we should send out a very happy birthday to the elder of mine, Linda Marotti.
Are you still married or not?
No. But
Do you love her?
No. Well, no, yes, I do. Of course I do.
Let me ask you this. shouldn't be on TV. When's the last time you kissed her?
Oh, many moons. But we want to wish her a very happy birthday. We
Happy birthday,
appreciate
sweetie.
all the great work she's helped put into the event November the 13th. I'm sure she'll be there keeping an eye on everything
See,
like she
that'll mess
usually
him.
does.
So that'll mess you up.
What will?
Keeping him concentrated if she's there, or
Well,
concentrated, focused.
You don't mess with Linda. That's one thing I've learned.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what
If
I'm
she's
saying.
there,
All right.
all right.
Let's get back to the world that was the World Wrestling Federation
It was.
in 1990. The day after Survivor Series, it was very odd. Instead of the usual Saturday night's main event time slot that you'd have, they wound up giving WWF a later prime time slot. Slot.
Okay.
Ultimate Warrior went over, I believe, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase on that one, but that was the same original taping where the Rockers defeated the Hart Foundation to win the WWF Tag Team titles in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us that story. That's very interesting to me.
Okay.
From A to Z, baby.
All right, but let me say this for y'all, all y'all doing interviews, all my people, pull your shirt down so your nuts don't, like, it's all
right, let's get to the match.
Okay, man, here's what happened. And I heard a whole lot of different stories, but here's what happened. I was there.
The truth.
The truth, yeah. We had a good, did you see it?
It never aired on television. They never aired the match. Because what happened was, here's what happened.
YouTube, though.
It was going to be on Saturday night's main event, which was a 90-minute show.
That. Oh,
but they,
I gotta tell everything.
But just let me finish.
Okay.
They wound up, for whatever reason, they wanted to run Saturday Night Live that night. So they cut it to a 1-hour main event special, and where your match went about a half an hour, in the ring fell apart,
we had 2 out of 3.
they cut it, so it never made television.
Right. And
Take it from there.
What I was told, Vince called me on a Monday. We won the title on what, Saturday? We won the title on Saturday.
Well, it was actually taped October 30th, but
okay,
and it aired the day after Thanksgiving.
And we had a flight we had to go to Corpus Christi, and this dude got on the plane, and I've told this, so you can check it. This dude got on the plane late. When I say late, he was the last one on the plane, drunk as shit, which didn't bother me. That part didn't bother me.
No, of course not.
But you didn't have to say it like that. But where's my where's my phone?
Somewhere in the studio. All right, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Anyway, so he was being a dick, and he'd come on there, and he was, drunk, and he was yelling at people, including, this, what do they call them, waitresses?
Stewardesses, flight attendants.
Yeah, and yelling at them and shit. And the plane was probably half full, so we had some room to sprawl out, And but he was being a dick, and Hercules, and rest in peace, love you, brother. Paul Roma, they were sitting right together. Remember, they were part of Power and Glory.
Yep, Power and Glory. Yep.
And they were sitting right there together, and right in front, he sat right in front of them, and they're looking over at me like, do something. And I'm like, okay, why can't y'all? Y'all way bigger than me. But it's, what the fuck, I got toilet paper all the, get out of here. But I told Sean, I said, and we knew what that meant. Is the mic okay? Okay. Yeah, because I just hit it accidentally. But, and I don't know, I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. It's embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I went in the bathroom, oh my God, I can't tell.
You can tell them.
You sure?
Yeah.
I should.
Lou said it was all right.
I took a piece of like the little, you pull them out of the thing, paper towel.
Yeah.
They come out of the thing, brown, and it was brown. And damn, this is the part I don't want y'all to hear, but I shit in it, and then, come out the bathroom and gave it to Sean, because I had to distract the guy. I'm like, hey brother, I agree with you, man. They're assholes. And he had to lean forward, and Sean dropped the shit. Dropped the shit. We were clean about it. Dropped the shit, behind the guy. And then Paul Rowan and them, they all saw it. So they're fucking, excuse my language, they're fucking with him. And so he's like this, yeah, what? He's grinding the shit on his damn shirt, and
You actually put shit on the man's chair?
well, Sean
Feces?
did. I shit in the blanket. I'm not blanket.
Into a napkin?
Yeah.
Handed it to Sean?
Yeah.
And Sean dropped it behind his back?
Yes.
So this man had a
This is
napkin
right after
filled
we
with
were world
shit.
champions.
All right, keep going.
And it went real bad. What I mean by that was he went to the bathroom and he came out and it was, you know what the funniest part? When he would walk up the aisle, he had a curly hair in the shit. There was a curly hair hanging out of it. And when he'd walk by all the seats, everybody was laughing. And he's like, fuck y'all laughing about? Fuck y'all laughing about? And then he went to the bathroom and when he come out, nobody shits on me. I'm gonna fuck me up some wrestlers. And
So
Paul,
he knew you guys were wrestlers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And Paul Roman said, well, WWF just shit on you. And I got a gun and 9 bullets. I'm gonna kill me 9 wrestlers.
He actually said that on the plane?
Yes.
Oh, imagine
when
if
he
it
got
was
arrested
nowadays?
when we landed.
Oh, really?
No,
Okay.
yeah, he got arrested. They actually asked Paul Roman, do you want to have him arrested? Paul said, yeah, if he's got a gun, yeah. And so they went down to baggage claim. He had a gun in his damn suitcase thing. They arrested him. Then we found out that night we had to wrestle Corpus Christi, I think it was, somewhere in Texas. And I think it was Corpus. But George Amel Steele, who I love to death, he was like, guys, we got a problem. And like, what? Somebody fucked with a guy today that's in a motorcycle, and he had escaped from jail. He was one of the top 10, how do they say that, top?
Most wanted?
Well, yes. And
The guy that you threw shit on?
Yeah. I mean, what's the chances?
What are the chances, yeah. John Walsh couldn't get him on America's Most Wanted, but you got him with a napkin filled with shit.
And George says, if you hear a pop, get low. And we were all really kind of, because he was in a motorcycle gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said they'd be there, or they're probably gonna be here tonight. And we were thinking, God damn, me and Sean were trying to be quiet about it, right? Trying to do like that. But we had to go to the ring.
Did the guy ever show up?
They put him back in jail. He escaped. He escaped prison.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah.
So you were safe then.
Oh, yeah. But then Monday, that was on Saturday. Then Monday, Vince calls me and he goes, Marty, I'm not going to be able to show the match. We're going to have to take the belts back. Okay, why? I heard something happened this weekend. And then, but on TV, they told all y'all that, and the rope really did break during the match.
It did, yeah.
So, but they were still going to do it. It was okay. It was shitting on the guy's back that Vince thought maybe it's not time to give them the belts.
Well, maybe it was almost a comedy of errors, so to speak, because the ring did fall apart. NBC.
No, the rope.
The rope broke.
Yeah.
NBC slashed a half an hour of time off of the special.
Okay,
so they
and
took
that
the
same
time.
night, here's another thing. If I'm allowed to,
Go ahead.
allowed,
Sure.
it's
no,
gonna,
this is
it's
interesting
gonna be a
to
gay
me.
thing.
It's what?
A gay thing.
Whatever. If it's involved the match or the angle, go ahead.
You know I love Pat Patterson. That's my brother. I mean, I don't have sex. I don't care about all my gay people, but I love them all, and Pat openly admits, right?
Yes.
And that night, is it Dick Emberg or Embersol?
Ebersol.
Ebersol?
Dick Ebersol.
Yeah, that was in charge. And they had to get in a limo, go wherever the hell they're going, hotel, whatever. And evidently, Pat did this, brother. Look. And he got mad as hell. And that was it. We didn't have no more.
He did it to Ebersol?
Uh-huh.
He did it to Ebersol?
Yes. And that was it. We had no more Saturday night, whatever it was called.
No, there was probably...
One more, because it was already taped.
No, they did one. I remember they did one in the spring of '91, and then they canceled the series.
Did you know that happened?
I did not know that. No.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you all that.
Do you think Pat Patterson sang "My Way" when he was doing it?
But you know what? And I hate to tell you all this too. Everybody in the TV business in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, not everyone. And I got nothing against them. I just told you I love them. I'm not gonna have sex with them. Gay.
All of them?
A lot.
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I know that is.
Well, no, why do you know? Well, all right, why
How
do you...
many have I met?
Why do you think so many of that type of person
because you know what?
wants to be involved in Hollywood?
Gay people take care of gay people. And I think
that
that's
what it
pretty
is?
cool.
All right,
I think that's pretty cool. I
Let's
mean,
say
all right, let me ask you this. If,
Yes.
if it's a guy, touchdown, I mean safety. Where you at?
No, keep going.
Okay. Stewart, what do you call them if they're guys? Stewart?
A steward, I would guess.
Right,
yeah.
okay. And do you know they're all gay, right?
But that's not much of a secret, yeah.
All right.
I don't know what attracts them to the airline industry the way they do, but...
But, you know, it's just, I love the fact gay people take care of gay people. I love that because...
In more ways than one, literally. Yeah.
Well, you have to say it like that.
Gay people take care of gay people.
But because it's a minority, you know, it's just
Sure,
like black
sure.
people.
Yeah,
Black
no,
people
you're right.
take care of
I
black
agree with
people,
that, yep.
except for Tony. And
No.
what we did I just say that?
It
What
was
do you
a-
get off the camera?
It was like that song that who was it? The Backstreet Boys, Bye Bye Bye. At least according to his wife. But anyway,
what was Marco Wahlberg? What was he with? In Sync?
one
Cam.
of the two.
Was Cam.
That's the way before the
Mark
captain's
Wahlberg,
time.
was it In Sync? No.
No, he was. Wasn't it? That was an '80s band. What-
No, it wasn't Backstreet either.
New Kids on the Block.
New Kids?
I think it was New Kids on the Block.
It was?
Lou, I don't think Lou. Lou wasn't even alive for the Backstreet Boys. You think he remembers?
He just said yes. Oh, you don't remember? Okay. Okay.
Lou
Well,
wasn't
Mark
even
Wahlberg,
alive for
let me-
them. Never
where's my
mind the
phone?
'80s.
Where's
Forget
my
about
phone?
the phone. Let's get back to this match. So,
Okay.
how was the match itself between you
Which one?
with you and the Hots for the title change?
Yeah,
2
sure.
out of 3 falls. I would have loved to have seen
We
it.
actually wrestled with them a lot. That wasn't the only
All
time.
right, well, I want to focus on this one particular match because for your
Yeah, it
history,
was- I
it's
thought
very, very important.
Not now it ain't. But I thought it was. I loved it. I loved it, and so did Sean, and so did Brett, and so did Amble. Here's what bullshit y'all got told. They said Amble did not want to drop the belts to y'all, so he was threatening to quit. And when y'all beat him, he was going to quit. So they gave the belt. That ain't true at all. Fuck. Amble and I were good brothers. We were good brothers. He would have said, Marty, I just don't feel good about this.
I thought
He fell down and hit his head
when
he died.
Oh,
Amble.
did he?
I'm talking about Amble.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't understand that because we know how to land by automatic. I mean, we've done it 1
Well,
billion.
I don't think he was of full capacity when he passed away. He was starting to slip mentally. I mean, he was kind of.
You still know how to land.
But when you're half with it. Yeah. All right, Captain Lou. What segment is that? Segment 1?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Thanks,
Cover your
boss.
balls.
I was told that
What
because
were you
Neidhart was part of, we mentioned all those releases in the fall of '90, Neidhart was going to be one of them, and that was why they wanted them to drop the straps to you guys, because they were going to push Brett as a single, and they were going to give you guys the big push as the tag. But then because Anvil ran into that legal problem where he beat up the stewardess, he owed
He didn't
Vince,
beat her up. I was there.
well, he owed, and anyway, he owed Vince McMahon so much money in
He did.
legal fees, they couldn't get rid of him. They had to keep him.
And I was there.
All right,
She bumped his, in the aisles. You're sitting out there, and if you got big nuts, like I'm trying to get on cover.
Yeah.
But when you're in the aisle seat, but you better have an aisle seat because if you're in the middle or against the window, you got to do like this.
Yeah.
We spread our legs, and she was coming up with that cart that they give you drinks and shit, and she banged the shit out of it.
Fix your mic. I think
Oh,
your
is
mic's
it messed up? I'm sorry. Oh, here.
Oh, yeah. It's right here. Look. Yeah.
Oh, it fell off completely? Oh, Marty, you got it.
Well, how much did we get? Anything?
No,
Probably.
we got most of it. I came out right when the mic messed up.
I'll just hold it.
What?
I'll just hold it.
No, you got to
No,
clip it, Marty. You got to clip it. Come on. Is it up the shirt?
Your
No,
hair-
no.
No, put it up
Pull
the
it up
shirt
his shirt.
first.
I want this to
Oh,
look
under
good,
shirt,
Marty.
okay. Your hair's
What?
your hair's frizzing up.
What do you mean?
It's frizzing.
In a bad way? What do you mean?
Here. It's frizzing. You know what frizzing
Just
hair is?
go. Just go.
I don't know.
Just too funny.
Good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, let me know. Okay.
Unbelievable, Marty. Right now, we got to take a brief time out. We'll be back to talk more about this historical, monumental time in the life of the Rockers and Marty Jannetty. Stand by.
Love y'all.
Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th Anniversary Bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet two-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Style Slick, the Berzerker, Doink The Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus two-time Impact World Champion Die-Hard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, John Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jora Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th, at an event 20 years in the making.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store.
Check it out.
On October 28th, 2020, wrestling's scariest night was back with WWE NXT Halloween Havoc. This limited edition collector's autograph poster is number 12 of only 100 produced and is signed by all 9 superstars featured on the poster, including Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Dexter Lumis, Cameron Grimes, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, and your Halloween Havoc host, Shotzi Blackheart. Comes with WWE authentication hologram on the back. You'll also receive an on-air thank you from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a bonus mystery autograph photo. Help keep wrestling legends working. Get this awesome collectible now. Wrestling fans, especially here in the Boston area, we want to thank our great friends at Red Rose for their support for all of our charitable endeavors and programming efforts. Red Rose is 2 years young and extremely thankful for all the support they've had from our neighbors here in Melrose and beyond for an amazing first 2 years. Red Rose thanks Melrose and all of the first responders who have fought the good fight and have never given up hope during these unprecedented times. We did it together. Follow Red Rose on Facebook for their anniversary special, facebook.com/Red Rose Melrose. You'll be glad you did. Open until 2 a.m. Red Rose will give you fresh, piping hot, mouth-watering food that'll put an ear-to-ear smile on even the toughest critic's face. Check out their full menu online at redrosema.com or give them a call, 781-620-1889.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. We continue down this trip down memory lane. As I had noted that how it was always described to me
You're
was...
yelling again.
The way it was described to me was that when we've mentioned before that Vince McMahon made a massive amount of cuts in the fall of 1990. They eliminated the C-Team house shows altogether, so all that was left was A and B. And
Which are still good.
Neidhart was one of those cuts, but because of the airline incident with the stewardess, Vince McMahon decided to keep him because he owed him so much money in legal fees. Now you say Neidhart did not attack the stewardess. What happened with the stewardess?
He shoved her. He didn't attack her.
All right.
Well, she hit his knee. Cause in the carts they go up the aisle.
Yeah.
If you got big balls, your legs are like this.
Yeah.
And when they go, I'm sorry about that part. And when the cart, and some of them are very nice about like, hey, they tap you, say move. Some of them are assholes. This one was an asshole, just banged the shit out of him. And here's what he did. He was from a dead sleep. Wham!
He just kind of woke up
Yes.
and instantly did it without even thinking.
You would do the same thing.
Huh.
She
Okay.
tore that knee up with a cart.
Did
Don't
she,
see
now,
the kind of.
did she take a bump?
No. Yeah, she kind of.
Did she sell for the anvil on the plane?
She had no choice.
But I mean, did he hit her hard enough that she fell over or not?
Fall over now. She did fall, lean.
Into someone's
Yeah,
chair or
all
something?
she did was this.
And did she make?
And it was like this.
Did she make a big scene?
Not really. That's why I don't know why that was a big deal.
Was he arrested once you guys landed?
That part I don't know.
So she realized, oh, okay, this is a WWF
She
wrestler.
ran into it.
No, but what I'm saying is her mindset is, okay, this is a WWF wrestler, let me sue.
I don't know if she knew he was a wrestler, though.
Well, it turned
Even
into...
though he was doing, you remember how he did this?
Yeah.
Even though he was doing that, and everybody should know that's Anvil, but I don't think she knew. She ran his knee over.
All right, well, anyway, Jim wound up staying, the Hots wound up with the belt. How was the match itself? I mean, you guys went good 25 minutes, 30 minutes. That must have been a hell of a match.
Loved it. And you're yelling.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh man, I loved that
At
match.
what point did the rope break?
In the middle of the second fall.
Did anyone think to maybe stop the match and let it get fixed?
Brett had Sean in the rear shin lock. You know, like yeah. And when I got thrown into the rope, and it popped, right? And Brett grabbed Sean and he held him. That was my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's here.
Yeah.
Okay. Brett kept, because Brett was raised in,
Right.
And he told Sean, just sit here. And he was telling, I can't remember who the referee was. I don't think it was Joey Morella. But he was telling the referee, stay right here, because you can edit.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and he'd say, stay right here, just stay right here. And he was telling the ref, and the refs have a, what do you call it, earpiece?
I don't think they had earpieces back then, though, did they?
They did.
In 1990?
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And yeah, because they would tell you when to go and
Okay.
shit. And he was telling, he's like, fix the ropes, we'll stay right here. And I guess they told him, no, just continue. Just continue.
Really?
Yeah.
Bad call.
Yeah.
Bad call.
Probably.
So how long did Brett have him in the rest hold for?
Not a rest hold.
Well, okay, however you want to describe it, chin lock.
Probably like 3 minutes. They both were. Brett was madder than Sean, because Brett knew what he was doing. Brett told him, just fix the ropes, we'll stay right here. Just edit.
Yeah. And they would, they did a magical job on those NBC specials, the way they'd edit them. They were edited better than most WWF TV shows at that time, I think.
Yeah, it was NBC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they really missed the boat. And for you guys, it must have sucked.
Yeah, but we shit on that guy.
Do you think if it wasn't for the shit incident, they would have redone it at a future event? Because they
no, they would have never taken the belts. But I think Vince got scared because
But they would have had no way to air the match.
Huh?
They would have had no way to air that match.
Why?
Because what happened was, originally, that was a Saturday night main event taping to air on a Saturday night, the weekend of Survivor Series.
Yep.
For whatever reason, NBC made the call. NBC made the call to go with Saturday Night Live, because I guess the ratings were starting to go down for Saturday night main event, and they put the main event show on Friday night at 10, which was a condensed 1 hour
And it was called
version.
that because I'm on the cover of one of the boxes.
Oh, are you?
Saturday main live, or what do they call it?
Saturday
Live.
night's main event.
Yeah.
And so it was a 1 hour special headlined by Warrior and DiBiase. So they had to slash a half an hour, and where your match went about a half an hour, they wound up slashing it. They had nowhere to air it. So what do you think they would have done if it wasn't for the shit? Maybe at the next TV taping, or?
No, just show it. Fuck, the rope broke.
Where were they going to show it? They took the half an hour away.
TV.
What?
Oh, yeah. So you're saying they cut through the. They cut.
NBC cut the show from 90 minutes to 60 minutes.
Okay.
And as a result of that, that was part of the reason.
It was recorded.
It was definitely recorded. We know that.
And we got it.
So they could have aired it somewhere, is what you're trying to say. Maybe primetime.
On NBC.
But no, it got slashed time-wise.
That's their fault.
I understand that, but they had nowhere to put your match on that special. Where would they have aired it? Maybe on Primetime Wrestling?
If Sean
or-
wouldn't have put that shit on the guy's back, they
Yeah.
would have showed the match.
You think so?
Yeah, I know
They would have
so.
cut other matches, you think?
Yeah. Well, then why wouldn't you? It was 2 out of 3, and it was fucking great. It was great. It was great.
Did you guys ever push to try and do a rematch?
No, we gave up because we had been pushing. We had been, working. We never came to Vince and said, "Give us the belts." Never did that. Some of the guys do though. Well, you know that. You're a promoter, yeah. Nah, we never did all that. But after a year and maybe a half, maybe 2 years, when did that happen? 90.
It was October 30th of 90, so it was about two
We
and a
did
half
that
years.
2 years, yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, and everybody loved us. We loved them. But you can only go so far till they throw the belts because you lose momentum, right?
Yep.
And, we went to Vince and said, "Hey, bro, gotta do something." And did that, and then took it back. And I'm telling you, it's because of the shit on the back. If that shit wouldn't have happened.
No pun intended.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And the only thing, I was an Intercontinental Champion for like 3 days.
Well, we'll get there in 93. I don't want to go too much into that
93, wasn't it?
direction, yeah. But were you disappointed that they took the belts away
What
from
do
you?
you think?
Well, let me ask you this. When you learned, when did you find out you were going to get them? That
Monday.
day? Or before the
that
taping?
day. No, that day.
The day of the
Yeah,
taping, they
yes.
came to you and said, you're getting the
Yes,
belts.
yes.
Now, how excited were you and Sean at that point?
We were nervous because we got to go put on a good show.
Yeah.
And the number one thing, but at least for me, and I'm pretty sure Sean too, is entertain the people. That's what we do. That's our job. And we were nervous. We're getting the belts. Oh shit, we got to make this good. And Brett and them, same thing. I don't believe the amble part. Not that you said it, but I did hear that he made us think. I don't believe that shit. It was the shit on the back. But all of us, Brett, Anvil, me, Sean, Dan sometimes, we're here to entertain the fans. And so when they say you getting the belts, we're like, oh shit, we got to do real good. So it was a little nerve.
A little nervous. That was the way to put it. But
Cover the balls. Cover your balls.
But did you hear the part about Neidhart that he was going to be released, but they wound up keeping him?
Yeah. What we heard was he complained if they lost the belt, he was leaving. And
But no, he was.
I'm just telling you.
All right, you tell me your version.
Well, I was there. That's what we were told.
Okay.
And Anvil wasn't like that. Anvil and me and Anvil were good friends. He would come up, he would come up to me. One time he watched, shit, I can't say this on TV.
No, you can.
You sure?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to though. But one time, and this is just, okay, I'm just going to tell y'all. And it was up here, I think. I think it was up here in Boston, or if it wasn't, right near it. But, and it was a black neighborhood, and some dude was beating the shit out of a girl. I mean, right there on the side of the road. And I was like, yeah, pull over. At least, we ain't gonna get involved, but let the girl stop getting beat up. And Anvil grabbed me and he goes, no, let's just get out. This is the way he said it. Let's get out of the community.
The community?
Yes, that's what he said.
And I imagine he was looking for a little medicine.
Yeah, we had some.
Well, you got the medicine.
Yeah, we
first,
already had that.
But he didn't try and help.
Well, no, he thought it was best because you can get shot.
Yeah. Well, Jim is a guy that
But the point was, he would have told me, like, Marty, I don't want us dropping the belts to you. Nah, it wasn't that. Well, if the shit wouldn't have happened on the back.
Yeah, you would have kept them.
And the rope breaking, it might have played in, but I don't think so.
It might have, in the end, if there's any validity to the version of the story I was told, it might have helped save his job.
Who told you?
I think it was Ed.
Who?
Cohen.
Oh, okay.
Because we had a Jim Neidhart incident.
What'd you have? What happened?
He was going to come in for the benefit we did for Bushwhacker Butch when he almost died. He had a bad staph infection, and Luke found him in
down there
bed,
in New
covered in
Zealand.
piss and shit. No, when he was down in Tampa. And the poor man almost died. You know, he was broke. So we did a nice live event fundraiser for him, and Neidhart actually contacted us because he was friendly with them and wanted to come in.
Yeah,
he said, "I'll come in." He said, "I'll come in for free." Blah 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 blah. But the problem was,
What was the
the airfare from Calgary to Boston was, I think it was like $1,500. So I said, I appreciate the offer. I just think it almost would defeat the purpose. So he said, well, how about this? I said, I'll come in. I'll give you guys one of my, was that Captain Lou, baby?
Yeah, we're getting a safety.
I'll give you one of my leather Heart Foundation jackets for the raffle that you're doing. And I said, geez, and give me $500 for my frequent flyer miles, and I'll fly myself in.
Who did that?
This is Neidhart now.
He would do that. Because we had so many miles.
But what happened?
Okay.
It was 3 days after Christmas.
Yeah.
And he wound up no-showing because I guess he wanted to hook up with a rat for the whole week for Christmas. But the rat wanted to go home and see her family.
Will you stop calling them rats?
He wanted to go home and she wanted to go and see her family for Christmas. So instead of Jim cheating on his wife and his family for Christmas week, he decided to keep the $500 and stay home.
We started the show in Denver, Colorado.
But let me tell you this, Dan Marotti was not happy.
You know she might be watching the show.
Well, I apologize to you, and I think you made the right decision.
Have you ever met Natalia?
She's very lovely.
You met her?
Yes.
Yeah, very sweetheart.
She is someone that,
love you, sweetie.
If they're ever going to create a full-time female agent, I think she'd be great for it at some point when she retires. She's just so technically sound and a very good human being.
Well, you know why?
Well, look at the way she was trained.
Anvil.
But as far as he goes, I didn't like the theft, as you know, with another person involved that I don't like.
You ain't talking about Tony.
Right now I'm talking about Neidhart's theft, but you know that doesn't go over well with me.
Let me ask you something.
What?
Did Tony ever drink one of these?
I think he hustled a couple of those in his bag.
He hustled them.
But let me get through this. Lou gave us the wrap-up signal. Neidhart, again, like someone else that stole, wouldn't return my calls. Neidhart. The $500 I sent him, he wouldn't respond to me. He ignored me, so on and so forth.
Can I tell you why?
Why?
It's on TV, ain't it? I don't want to say it on camera.
No, just say it. Come on.
We were all smoking a lot of coke.
Yeah.
And you get lost. You know what Jake did one time?
We'll save that for after the break.
Well, this happened in Africa. They was giving him 10,000 advance money, 10,000, and because he
bad idea.
And he smoked it all, and he didn't make the show.
Wow. Well, anyway,
I'm sorry, Jake. I love you.
With Neidhart, I did not appreciate the theft. It ruined the benefit. It let the fans down. So after about 2 weeks of him ignoring my calls and messages, you know what I did?
What you did?
I went to the BostonWrestling.com super site where you can get your tickets for Back to the 80s WrestleFest, November the 13th here in Melrose. I don't need your wallet, Marty.
No, take $500. I'm going to pay for Amble.
Okay. If you want to take it out and hand it to me, I'll take it.
Okay.
So what I did was I went to BostonWrestling.com. I said, if you want to contact Jim Neidhart, here is his phone number. And Jim Neidhart got quite a few calls. Thank you, Marty. I appreciate it.
Right at it.
And can you believe it? I heard from Jim after we put his phone number on the website. And he wasn't very happy about it.
I'm sure he wasn't.
But I thought that was kind of a good fuck you for him fucking us.
I did that to Pat Tanaka before.
You no-showed Pat Tanaka?
No. I didn't no-show him. But he made me mad once, and I put his phone number on the internet. Well, he had to change his number. He goes,
Jim,
you
do you remember Georgie Ann Macropolis out of New York?
That name's familiar.
She was, I don't know if I'd go the R word.
That's not
but she was just wonderful to
What's
the boys.
Harvard?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was just a wonderful, wonderful human being, and she did a newsletter and like fan clubs. Because she was agreed in my disgust on OneWrestling.com, when that was one of the more popular sites. She put the link to it.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Dave Shearer, I think, left, and he created PWInsider.com. Which is,
really?
yeah.
Okay.
And One Wrestling barely exists now.
You know
but
who-
back when One Wrestling was the site, Georgie Ann posted the article about Jim Neidhart's phone number, so everybody that went to the website clicked the link, and they went to the website with Jim Neidhart's phone number. So anyway, Captain Lou is going wild. All right, wrestling fans, we'll be back after this brief timeout with more Wrestling Insiders. Party with Marty. Stand by.
Love y'all.
Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th Anniversary Bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet two-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Style Slick, the Berzerker, Doink the Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus two-time Impact World Champion Die Hard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, John Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jorah Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo, fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th, at an event 20 years in the making.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA WWE Hall of Famer Tony Atlas.
The road to WrestleMania has begun. Wrestling fans are looking to add to their man caves. You got to see what we have in the eBay store. Check it out.
Here's your chance to own a piece of history from the 2020 WWE Draft. On the second night, October the 12th, The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and Alexa Bliss unleashed hell on Andrade and Zelina Vega. This limited edition 11x14 collector's poster is number 26 of only 50 made, personally signed by both The Fiend and Alexa Bliss, direct from friends at WWE. Comes with certificate of authenticity hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing. You'll also receive a bonus autographed mystery photo and an on-air shout-out as our thanks to you. Get this ultra-rare autographed Fiend and Alexa Bliss poster now.
Cheer. Why, hello. I would ask what was on your mind, but I already know. You want to know what has got my beard looking oh so majestic. And I'll tell you, it's sexy as hell beard care. Coconut oil, vitamin E oil, almond oil, both sweet and bitter, shea butter, it's all natural. Yes, JTG has actually come out with a high quality product. So support your boy by going to sahbeardcare.com and take one step closer to becoming sexy as hell. Cheer. Ooh, cheer. You know?
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. As 1990 began to wrap up, The Rock is without the Tag Team Championship belts. You were working the loop with the new look Demolition, Smash and Crush, managed by Mr. Fuji.
Oh my God, that was rough.
Any memories of those matches with the Demolition now minus Axe?
I love minus Axe.
Axe was gone at this point. He left the company.
Yes,
at the end of 1990.
3 of them.
Well, you may have at some point, but at the end of 1990, Axe was gone, so it was just Smash and Crush.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Bill was done at Survivor Series 90.
Damn. Okay, because we wrestled all 3 of them.
At different times you did, sure.
Yeah.
But as the year ended, it was just Smash and Crush.
But I love all 3 of them.
Was it more difficult work in that duo?
No, they were all. I love all of y'all, and you know, Crush died.
Yeah.
But oh my God, were they stiff? When they would hit you, like here's how they hit. I'm like, God damn. We call it a receipt. You know, you give a receipt, but we're like, no, don't give a receipt though. Here's your harder. But yeah, they were a little bit stiff.
Would you have preferred Axe over Crush?
No, they were both horrible. I love y'all.
You're just being honest with your opinions.
No,
All
it's
right.
not my opinion. I got that shit knocked over my back all the time. We didn't, of all the people we tagged against, I didn't ever think those matches were good.
You never had a really big run with them. You never had a
No, it was
feud,
just a short
program
time,
or anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were more house show matches than anything.
And I love you, Bill. I love you, Barry, and Brian. I loved Brian to death. But oh my God. It just, I mean, it's hard to have a good match. When you walk in and when you start the match, it's like just wham! You're out of breath. You're like, oh my God.
More stiff than Warlord and Barbarian?
Oh my God. Who?
More stiff than Warlord and Barbarian?
They weren't stiff.
They weren't stiff,
No.
really? All right.
No.
But Demolition, they laid it in.
Boy. You know, but we still love them.
Yeah.
And
They were just stiff.
I think you know what I think we did? I think we got by with the matches. I don't think they were good.
You don't think they were good?
Yeah, did you see them?
I don't think they ever did it in Boston, you guys.
No, on TV, I mean.
I don't ever remember seeing it. Well, not with that version of Smash and Crush. Like I said, it was never really anything that was built up as anything, a big feud or a big program. There may have been a couple of matches here and there, but...
Yeah. It was only like a 2-month program, and trust me, that was a rough 3 fucking months.
All right, we got to go back in time now to one, I don't know...
I ain't got no shoes on.
There's no surprise there. December the 11th, 1990, WWF Superstars taping, Tampa, Florida. Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty take on the man that is known for his self-service, Lanny Poffo and Chad Austin.
Chuck.
Chuck Austin.
Trust me, I know that. That mother...
Take us back to that
500,000. Okay.
Well, for the fans that have no idea what we're talking about, we'll give it to them A to Z.
Ready?
Yep. You were wrestling this tag
Tampa
team.
Sundome.
Yep.
And you know, Lanny, like you said, and Chuck was a newer guy, and we actually talked in the dressing room. You know how it works.
Yeah.
We were talking in the dressing room, and the rocker dropper back then, you know, that was for Billy. What do you call it? The ass. The famous. You know what they called it? The famouser, right? You know, one time, Kurt Hennig, that's my brother, right? And I did Chris Candido, you know, I did that. And Kurt's announcing, remember when he was announcing? He goes, that'll break your neck. Because Chuck did the move wrong. He said, yeah, I know how to do it. I do it. They had a wrestling school. Well, we do it all the time. Okay. And then we got in the ring, and what he did was like, let me show you. I'm gonna show you visually.
Just be careful.
On the rocker dropper, you bend over, the leg goes over. Yeah. You pancake out. You throw your legs back. He did like this, and then dove. Because DDT, and he even said that. He goes, I'm so sorry. He apologized. But
even though he broke his neck?
Well, no. I'm talking about he did the move wrong, and he dove. And he told everybody, he goes, I was thinking of the DDT. Tell Marty I'm sorry. He was apologizing. He broke his neck. And I knew I landed wrong, because I always land flat on that, right? And I landed backwards because he raised up so damn high. And I was like, you okay? You okay? And you know, new guys are scared to talk in the ring. And he was like, yeah, you know. And I had to roll him over. A lot of times you just roll over, so you just cover and pin. I had to roll him over, but when I saw his legs crossed, I'm like, uh-oh. And I had to tag Shawn to come off the top rope with a headbutt. And I told Shawn, boy, I'm gonna tell y'all everything right now. I love you, Shawn, but I'm gonna tell everything. Tagged him and said, I think he might be hurt. And Sean did do good when he jumped off. Never touched him. He blocked, but it made it look like a headbutt. It was coming off with a headbutt.
It was more of a fist drop, wasn't it?
I think it was headbutt.
Okay. Well, anyway.
But in court 3 years later, Sean's ass. Sorry, Sean, I'm going to just tell the truth. But Sean's ass not got up on stage, but when you're up there testifying or whatever the hell you call it, the dude said, he goes, "But you saw him land wrong, didn't you? You saw him land wrong." And he goes, "No." And we had video of the match.
Yeah.
And he said, "You didn't see him land?" He goes, "No. I turned my back, getting the crowd. I was clapping." And he showed the video. They fucking got video. Showed it, and Sean's looking right there because we followed through. We're like, boom. He did the whole boom thing, when he landed. And safety.
Okay. Well, we're going to finish. This is important.
Okay. And Sean he's a little bit arrogant out there, because the guy said, "Oh, you didn't see how he landed?" This is a lawyer.
We can get to the court case when it happened a little later on. What happened with the match itself? You went through with what you thought was the finish, and the guy. I mean, did you know at that point that there was a serious injury?
When I rolled him over and his leg crossed, I thought, "Uh-oh."
So Sean, you tagged
and
Sean.
I knew I landed wrong because I sit. It's supposed to sit, but he raised up so high, I landed on my back. I'm like, that wasn't right. That's why I asked him, "Are you all right?"
You tagged out to Sean quick.
Yes.
Sean hit
because the finish was
a light
coming
finish,
off the top.
1, 2, 3, and the man remained in the ring. Is that correct?
Yes, for like 20 minutes. Joey Morella was the referee. Gorilla Bond. Let me cover my balls. That was Gorilla Bond.
Yeah.
And I love Joey. Joey loved him, man. But he was kind of joking when he went in the back. After the match, he went in the back, and he goes, "Oh my God, it sounded like a 2x4 breaking."
Wow.
But he was joking. He was just, because the guy was still in the ring, and Joey thought it was bullshit. You know what I mean? And yeah.
Tony Atlas said on this very program where he was getting ready to go out
I'm
next.
going to have to hurt him.
Is Saba Simba.
He said, of all racist shit, he did Saba fucking Simba.
He said, Vince McMahon said, "Get that piece of shit out of the ring. He's
Chuck?
delaying the show." Yeah.
Chuck. He got mad at me? You mean me or Chuck?
I don't know who he said it to, but
One
Vince
time-
McMahon supposedly, according to Tony, Vince said, "Get that piece of shit out of the ring.
it probably
He's
was
delaying
Chuck.
the show."
It would have been Chuck.
Yeah.
Because one time,
So what happened? What did Vince say to you when you came back through the curtain? Anything?
on that, no, we
didn't
nobody
even
knew how
know.
serious
Yeah.
it was. But
Yeah.
what hurt my feelings that at that time I'd been wrestling 14 years, and nobody ever got hurt. And I felt bad. They took him out on a stretcher, took him outside the Tampa Sundome, put him on a helicopter to take him to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there watching that, and I'm about to cry now. But I'm watching them put him in the helicopter. They had to fly him to Tampa General, which is the hospital there. And I'm sitting there thinking, fuck, I didn't do nothing wrong.
Well, he was inexperienced. I mean, you can't blame yourself for his inexperience.
I didn't blame myself. You know what else we did? My girlfriend at the time, she was very good with kids. He had three kids. She was very good. She worked at kinder care. Her mother owned kinder care. So she was good with working with kids.
Yeah.
And so I gave her some money and said, because it was right near Christmas. It was right near Christmas.
Yeah, it was early December. Yeah.
And I said, send her some toys and shit, because her daddy's in the hospital. Man, I'm gonna cry. Oh boy.
Did you attempt to reach out to him after it happened yourself?
Yes, I called.
Well, no, I know you just said you had your girlfriend send some money to the family, but you reached out to him directly?
I called the hospital, and I talked to his wife. I talked to the doctor. The doctor actually told me this. He goes, "You know what's nice is you're checking on him. Your company, talking about WWF at the time, hasn't called once."
Wow.
And you know what Jerry Briscoe told me? Man, I'm sorry about crying. God damn it. Yeah, choked up right now. Jerry Briscoe was came to me, and he goes, "You keep calling Chuck Austin." I'm like, "Yeah," and he goes, "Stop." No, why? They're suing us, and you're looking guilty.
You know, I hate to say it, but from a corporate point of view, that does
He's
make
correct,
sense.
yeah.
From a human point of view, kind of a lousy thing to hear, because you genuinely cared. You didn't want to see the guy hurt. But at the end of the day, I have to say, if it was due to his inexperience, you can't blame yourself for that, Marty.
He told me he knew how to do it.
Then you
Sean
can't
was
blame
right there.
yourself.
You mentioned Lanny. Everybody's
Lanny
right
was
there.
doing something else.
And it, thank you for making me laugh, though, because I was.
Well, I know you
tearing
needed a
up.
laugh. I could tell.
Yeah.
Well, so, you know, I commend you for reaching out to him. I really think, you know what, for all the people when
But you know what? When he went to court, though, he didn't. He said Marty maybe do it. Now let me ask you.
No, I want to save the court case when we get to the court case, if you don't
How
mind.
do you make somebody do something? You don't.
Not in a pro wrestling match. But for all the people that make their little remarks about this and that about Marty, all the wise guys in the premier chats that have their little expertise and their little digs and their little jokes and insults.
It's
what
okay.
does it say about
they
this
got nothing
guy
else to do.
that he went out of his way to try and help out this man's family, to try and help them get through Christmas, to check on him and see how he was doing at the hospital? That's why I'll always commend this man. That's why when people say, "Oh,
thank you, man,"
there's
That's
a
nice.
couple of them they like, and I'm certainly don't want to go in this direction, but the show's about ready to wrap up. But you know, they like to say the race thing. Oh, well, you're nice to Marty because Tony was black, blah blah blah. No, the difference is Marty is more of a genuine human being than a thief that stole money and failed to communicate after the fact.
You
He just
say it that way.
decided to take it and slander us online. We have had a lot of arguments that you guys have never heard about and have never seen, but at the end of the day, I believe this man, when he looks in the mirror in the morning, looks at the reflection of someone that has a good heart. And that's why I don't want him with us in
Oh, that's so nice of you,
2021.
brother.
I want him with us here in 2031.
31, you keep
so
saying that.
for my partner in
Well,
crime...
then you got to be here then.
Oh, damn right. For everybody. Everybody's gravy train ends at that point. For my partner in crime, Marty Jannetty, I'm Dan Marati. Don't forget, we're 9 days away from the big one. Back to the 80s WrestleFest, Memorial Hall, Melrose, Massachusetts. I know I am. Saturday night, November the 13th. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com now. If there are any VIP packages left, get them because they're going quick. General admission tickets will have, you're going to have the time of your life as we celebrate 20 years of Boston Wrestling. MWF as we go back to the 80s. MJDM, good night from Boston.
Where's my phone?
Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th anniversary bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet two-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Style Slick, the Berzerker, Doink The Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus two-time Impact World Champion Die-Hard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, John Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jorah Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo, fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at BostonWrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th at an event 20 years in the making. All right, wrestling fans, as always, Marty has a unique way of presenting himself, presenting life, presenting history, but he presents it the way he remembers it, I guess is the best way to put it. Certainly some difficult times for Marty after that incident with Chuck Austin, but we will be back this coming Thursday night with Marty after a Dark Side of the Ring and Impact on AXS TV. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Dark Side of the Ring season is over. So after Impact, you can look for a new episode with Marty. All right, wrestling fans, don't forget Marty is yet another superstar that you can meet and greet up close and personal 2 weeks from right now, Saturday night, November the 13th, Memorial Hall right here in Melrose. He'll be part of that Autograph Photo Fan Fest, the VIP Q&A before the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow tear it up inside the squared circle as we kick off the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive and officially kick off our third decade. It is going to be a happening. Let me tell you, fans, again, tickets now, bostonwrestling.com. The VIP packages are flying. We want to get you the best seats in the house. All right, folks, as we noted, we kind of had an abbreviated schedule this week because of our travels, but being the kind of guys that John Cena Sr. and myself are, we couldn't leave you hanging after SmackDown and AEW Rampage last night, so we bring to you Wrestling Insider's Fabulous Fridays, where we discuss Halloween itself. We talk about the Bella Twins' futures, and Johnny Gargano's contract expiring with the WWE Universe in just about a month from now, a little over a month from now. So very interesting episode. Let's get the insight from the fabulous one himself, John Cena Sr.
All right, Johnny, it has been a week of vacation for you and I down in the Sunshine State, the great city of Orlando, Florida, but we didn't want to leave the fans with nada. So we said, you know what, before we go, we got the helicopter coming on the roof for you. You were nice enough to stay a few extra minutes. We've been talking about the great MWF Live event coming November 13th to Memorial Hall. What's left of the VIP packages and tickets are on sale now. When we go back to the 90s for our 20th anniversary, Saturday night, November 13th, bostonwrestling.com. Get the tickets, the VIP packages now. But Johnny, it's Halloween weekend. Your weekend.
The ghosts, the goblins, the werewolves, and vampires.
What kind of candy do you give out at the Cena, the Fabo residence? Are you a Milky Way kind of guy?
No, we give out Fabo mints. I have my own
You
mints.
give out what?
I have my own Fabo mints.
No, you really have mints?
I do. I have Fabo mints. They're wrapped in a little package with a $1 million bill on it.
How have I never seen these?
I don't bring every product I have in.
You said mints like Tic Tacs?
No, it's like you know those mint pillows they have? Those like a little mint bar. They're.
You mean like mints that you eat?
Yeah. It's
For your
probably
breath?
See like this, that size, but they're a little bigger, and they're mints. They're mint.
Flavored or minty?
Mint.
Where do you get Fabo mint made? I need to see these.
I have some connections.
That's all you give out for Halloween are Fabo mints?
Well, actually, I turn the light out at the estate. I
Oh,
turn
really?
the dogs loose.
Oh, really?
And we don't have anybody come to the estate.
You just leave the mints in a bowl at the front of the driveway, or?
No.
No.
No, the electric fence is on.
Oh, the electric fence?
Nobody is allowed into the estate. What I do is I have a big party for all the kids, and I have Milky Ways, Snickers,
You have a party?
Three Musketeers,
Now, wait a minute, what kind of a party
apple
do you
bobbing,
have?
cider donuts.
Is
come
this
in
reality
costume.
now? No, none of this is true. But are they
Well,
really?
the mints is true.
There are Fabo
There
mints.
are Fabo mints.
Do you give them out for trick-or-treating?
No, I do not.
Well, I remember last year for, it was close to Halloween, we did one of our, I don't even know what the heck you'd categorize it as, but Tony Atlas would take real-life questions from the fans, and there was some kind of a couple that was in a dispute that I think it was the wife wanted the kids to go away so bad. One year she gave up packets of oatmeal. I mean, can you imagine the kid going home to a package of Quaker Oats? Or?
Well, I have some friends like that, and I am not an advocate of that. What they
You would
did,
not give out oatmeal.
What they did was they gave out chocolate chip cookies made with X-Lax.
Now that's cruel.
Well, you talk
Sounds
about
like if he went down trick-or-treating at Memorial Hall, but that's all right.
Yeah, another story for another time. Yeah,
They really did that?
Yeah.
They could get in trouble.
Absolutely. And well, when I found out, I said, hey, guys, either turn the lights out. And they thought it was funny. It was a joke.
That's not funny.
I said, it's not funny and it's not even a joke.
Kids,
because, you know, the little ones that come to your door, they trust you. That's like those asses that were putting razor blades in apples. How bad can you be? Just sick minds, you know? And to me, it's a time of joy. It's a time of happiness. It's really a time to share. Although now it has become a time of caution, of awareness, because you never know what's around the corner. Is there a real Michael Myers out there? You know, you've got people giving out stuff, candy bars laced with poison. This is really, it's a sick world. So I think I lean now towards those communities that are canceling trick-or-treat, and at the town halls, the fire department and police department get together, they have candy, apple bobbing contests, the whole bit, safe. Kids dress up, parents can dress up, it's a fun time. I'm not an advocate, and I used to be. I have 3 granddaughters, and I'm kind of like my dad, God rest his soul, used to be. My sister, myself, God rest my brother's soul, we used to go trick-or-treating with a pillowcase. I would make up like I was a demon or whatever. We come home with pillowcases full of candy. My father would say, on the table. We'd dump the candy on the table, and he'd take like Milky Ways, the candy he liked, and he'd go, now the rest is yours. So it doesn't happen that way anymore. We had so much fun. Neighbors left their lights on. When you rang the bell, they knew who you were. It was great. Today, you don't know where you're going, who you're going up against.
I think the parents should just be safe and go through the kids' bags before.
Yeah, but even then, you know, I think the situation that we're involved in, you can get a very fine syringe needle. You can inject anything. Well, no.
What is this? Damien and Matilda and the WWF?
Dan. It doesn't take an idiot. You watch enough of the TV, and people pick up on those ideas. And you've got people that really hate Halloween or hate kids. I mean, who would have thought of putting razor blades in apples?
In an apple, yeah.
And then, you know, even the chocolate cup. How sick. You know, who would have thought about injecting something into a candy bar? It just doesn't make sense. Or making a popcorn and coating it with a, I don't know, baby aspirin that shouldn't be there. It's not good. So the days of fun and frivolity for the young kids, I think it's all gone to hell in a wire basket. And now with the COVID situation, I think it's going to be light this year anyway. I don't have, where I live personally, there used to be a group, they don't come anymore. It's an older neighborhood now, and there are no more kids left. I miss it. I used to have a little tray out there with the butler that said, you know, like Frankenstein, everybody likes candy. Would you like some? And the arm would go up and down, and the kids would take what they wanted, and what was empty, I'd refill it. You don't see that anymore. Yeah. You don't see that. They give
on the
away.
hill I'm on, it's difficult for the kids to get up it. So.
And it's expensive, because now you've got to make a choice, and this is the sad part: food or candy.
You think people are going to go without food to give up Halloween candy?
No, I'm sure. No, you give something up. You say, okay, I really enjoy trick or treat, so I'm not going to go with the steak. I'll go with the Halloween candy. You know, little things like that. Elderly, especially.
Well,
I'm looking at elderly now with this economy. It's the craziest I can remember. I thought Carter was bad. I thought Obama was bad. This is a travesty.
Well, you know what, Johnny? And God, to go here in this episode, but what confuses me is they took, what was it, 8 million people off of that unemployment program, and then they said, well, we just added 190,000 jobs. We're doing great. Well, what about those 7+ that is out of work? And so maybe, I don't know. Again, different story for a different time. But, Johnny, we talked a little bit about some treats. Hopefully this one isn't a trick. Those 2 heathens, that one of which almost became part of your holiday celebrations for life. Nikki Bella has stated that apparently they're not going to be able to make the big return next year because she's not well enough because of the injuries to her neck from all of the hellacious battles over the years. Unlikely to see the Bella twins for at least 3 years, she said.
And then nobody will give a damn. And I'm not being, I'm glad you're laughing. I'm not trying to be derogatory. You know, I think light dawns on Marblehead. She had some very serious fusion. Why would you jeopardize your life, your body? You have a child now, you've got a husband now, you have responsibilities. You've made enough money. Maybe your agent isn't happy with not being the superstar anymore, running your daughters around. But you know what? I think you made a wise decision. Stay the hell away. And in 3 years...
No, she said 3 years. So
well, you know what? And I'm going to tell you this. In 3 years, nobody will care about him. Nobody will want to care about him. They try to keep... Nikki has got her face out there. I haven't seen the sister as much. So, you know, Brian is going to retire pretty soon. I'm sure they're all going to be out of it. I just think sometimes there are those people that don't know when to quit. There are those people that don't believe there is life after professional wrestling. You know, you've got a lot going for you. Deal with what you have. Maybe they'll pick you up as a producer. Maybe they'll have you get down to NXT and help people learn how. Hold on.
What are they going to do? Go back to NXT to try and learn how to work?
You didn't let me. Well, see, you didn't let me finish. To teach people how not to wrestle. All right? So all the things that they thought they did perfect. Remember, when they first hit the scene, they hit the scene when TNA was the popular thing. TNA was it. So you come out, you're there, you do what you got to do. Whoopee! It's not there anymore. The response they got when they came out was like, really? Really, as Moniz would say? Really? Really? It's over, girls, ladies, women. It's over. Leave it alone. Don't come back in 3 years. Don't haunt the house. Halloween's done. We don't need you. They don't want you. The fans have spoken. Unless you get something super coming on 3 years from today, I think they ought to lock the door and throw away the key.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, following in your son's footsteps, Nikki is now going to be co-hosting the game show, America's Got Talent Extreme, with Simon Cowell. I will be sure not to watch that one, but
there's two of us.
They don't quit. They just want to be on everything and try and be shoved down everyone's throats, and I think that's why so many people dislike them.
I agree.
Even if they might be personally nice people.
They are nice people. They are nice people. But I think
they come off as gold diggers, and they come across as people that just won't go away.
You think, huh? All I'm going to say is this. In the professional wrestling business, in any business, the object of the game is to have your face out there so people don't forget who you are. I can only say this. I've worked enough shows where we've brought people in, supposedly, quote unquote, older superstars that drew zero. So you can be on any show you want. I don't think her mouth, and you know, I got to say this. America's Got Talent, what does she know about singing, dancing, magic, whatever the hell it is she's got to do? See that zero on the counter? Just put her face right in there. I could do a better job.
I would like to see you and Simon get together and do America's
We'd have
Got
a hell of a
Talent.
good time.
You would.
But I don't think she deserves that spot.
No.
And,
well, why any human being thought that anyone wants to see her?
Because maybe she came in at the lowest price.
Oh, I mean, didn't she do Dancing with the Stars too? That's how she met that husband. You know,
I forecasted that one.
I guess after she lost out on the WWE husband, she needed a Dancing with the Stars husband. Oh, please! People can't stomach them.
Well, I can't comment on what you just talked about.
No,
so,
I understand that, but I can.
But
I can just go by the opinions that I hear from so many different fans, or even those within the industry sometimes, that it's revolting. It's almost like what you talked about with the Halloween candy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You need to know when enough is enough. And whoever her agent is, and I'm sure her husband got her in this position because there's no more gold to dig anywhere else. So I don't know how she got it or why she got it, but I'm going to tell you, she is not a personality that you want to watch on TV.
No.
So the show, if anything, it'll cost the show ratings.
Well, and Johnny, one more as we get ready to wrap up. December 3rd, the contract expires of former NXT champion, Mr. Johnny Wrestling, as they call him, Johnny Gargano. You think he will be AEW bound? Do you think he stays within the confines of NXT, where his wife is still with the company, or do you think he jumped ship?
We did a show out west for cancer, the young man, the father that ran the show, Heroes, I think it was called. The young man passed away. But Gargano, his wife, and Ciampa, we were all out there for the show, along with Mickey James and a few others, Rhino. If I were him, I'd move on. I wouldn't stay. I think he did what he needed to do. Whether they're going to put him back in the spotlight or not, I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't roll the dice. I don't know how much time his wife has left on her contract, but
she's Brago now, so.
Yeah, she's a great performer. She's a good professional wrestler on the women's side. Yeah. If I were Tommaso Ciampa, I'd be looking too.
Well, that's an interesting thought. Tommaso, I could see him fitting in well, but I mean, you want to talk about a little Johnny. Could you see him fitting in on Raw or SmackDown at his size?
Gargano?
Yeah.
No,
I couldn't.
No, it's over. Right. And Tommaso, who I have the greatest respect for, regardless of what's happened.
You had your ups and downs here in Boston.
I think what's going to happen is, if he stays in, they'll use him. If he gets to the top, and in my opinion, he already is, but when he gets there, what do you do with him?
I think he's where he wants to be.
I agree. He's happy, and that's where you want to be. But eventually, with the new takeover, now we got to see what happens.
We'll have to wait and see. All right, fans, we are running out of time. Unfortunately, this is just an abbreviated version, but we wanted to give you something instead of nothing. We didn't want to trick you. We wanted to give you a treat. It's Halloween weekend. Again, share your thoughts in the Premier Chat. For us going out of our way to do this, the Super Chat button is open. If you're not with us live, your thoughts in the comment section below. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's free. Johnny, we are literally 2 weeks away come midnight towards back to, no, wait a minute, I'm 100% wrong.
Yes.
It's October 29th.
I'm just going to, yeah.
But we're still 2 weeks away.
Just about, yep.
Yeah, it'll be Saturday at midnight.
Yep.
2 weeks away, Saturday night, November the 13th, Memorial Hall, Melrose, Mass., 2 blocks from here. We celebrate 2 decades of Boston Wrestling MWF as we go back to the 90s for WrestleFest. Remaining VIP packages, tickets on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. If you think the Elite 8 that we've already announced is something, along with the great up-and-coming independent talent that is something, along with this man, wait until you see the Fabo Pop and the hot sauce. Baby, you can get your Christmas shopping done November the 13th.
Well, if we don't collaborate, you'll have to get it somewhere else.
Well, you and I are going to be doing some collaborating off the...
Okay.
But for Captain Halloween himself, John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marotti. Next week, I'm sure we'll be back reminiscing about Halloween Horror Nights.
Ooh.
We hope all of you ghouls and goblins have a very healthy, happy, safe Halloween. Enjoy Halloween itself. And I tell you this, if you're looking to give a gift for Halloween, a ticket to back to the 90s WrestleFest, you can't go wrong over at bostonwrestling.com. Buy a couple hundred general admission tickets and give them out to the kids.
Couple of hundred?
Yeah, why not?
At $15 a whack? $25?
Yeah, why not?
Says cream soda. That's what's in there, right?
For John Cena Sr., I'm Dan Marotti. Again, until we speak again, happy Halloween. Good night from Boston.
Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th anniversary bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet 2-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Styles Slick, the Berzerker, Doink The Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus 2-time Impact World Champion Die Hard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, John Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jorah Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo, fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th, at an event 20 years in the making. All right, wrestling fans, running out of time here on Wrestling Insider's Week in Review. We certainly thank you for joining us on this abbreviated version. I missed chatting it up with my buddy Oscar and Tiger Mulligan this week. Hopefully we'll be back to normal programming next week. Hopefully we'll be back to our normal video schedule once the mayhem and insanity of our Back to the 90s WrestleFest 20th Anniversary Extravaganza concludes 2 weeks from right about now. I tell you, I have not had sleep in months. I'm exhausted. I look forward to bringing you a very special video about what it takes to put an event like this together that many of you may find intriguing. I know I will, because there's a lot of stories to share over an event that we literally began to put together 2 years ago. As always, fans, we implore you to join the Boston Wrestling Patreon family, help keep wrestling legends working while getting early, uninterrupted, full-screen access to Wrestling Insiders over at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. If you want us to continue to be able to bring you the talk shows the way we do, we honestly need the support. If we don't have that support, we cannot do it. It's that simple. I mean, I cannot put it in any other words. As we kick off the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive in person at Memorial Hall November the 13th, we're also going to be having Wrestle House 2 from Tampa. The first week in December, we have a plethora of superstars lined up, scheduled to join us. We're going to have Wrestling Insider tapings, live episodes, cyber autograph signings. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have much more news on that after the 20th anniversary live event. But I think you guys are really going to be pleased with what we've come up with, or I could be completely wrong. I have no idea. All I can do is try. It is the story of my life from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed. I hope everyone tunes in tomorrow night, LIVE live at 7 p.m. when myself and Charlie Wilson, knock on wood, barring technical issues like we had the other night with our unexpected watch-along, have a WCW Halloween 1990 watch-along. When we go back in time on the WWE Network, check out the big, scary, spooktacular that was Halloween Havoc. We hope you will have it in your calendar to join us if you're not out trick-or-treating, or maybe not a horror movie type of person like I am. Again, we give up a holiday to give to you, to have some fun, to interact, to engage, to talk wrestling, at what will be at that point 13 days away from our 20th anniversary bash at Memorial Hall. Again, folks, we can't ask you enough. Get your tickets now, bostonwrestling.com. If you're interested in mail-in or having an autographed photo signed to you and mailed out to you, we're going to have that option available as well. So many big things happening. You know, once we turn the page on Halloween, a week from now, we're going to walk into a store and we're going to hear Christmas music. The eBay store is open for business 24/7 with lots of rare, great wrestling merchandise. So for all of you ghouls and goblins out there, I hope you play it safe this weekend. Whatever you do, don't drink and drive, especially where Ubers and Lyfts and things like that are so easily accessible. A drunk driver almost killed me and certainly destroyed the physical enjoyment of my body, so to speak, along with the Iron Sheik back in 2005. You know what? Don't think just about yourself. Think about other people, too. So with that said, folks, have a Milky Way, have a Reese's peanut butter cup for me. I'm Dan Marotti, here alone in Melrose. Happy Halloween. We'll see you next week. Wrestling fans, the countdown is on to Boston Wrestling MWF's 20th Anniversary Bash, Saturday night, November the 13th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Massachusetts, as we go back to the 90s. You'll see and meet two-time WWE World Champion and Hall of Famer Bob Backlund, WWE Hall of Famer Bushwhacker Luke, Marty Jannetty of the Rockers, Doctor of Style Slick, the Berzerker, Doink The Clown, Duke the Dumpster Droese and Portuguese Man of War, Aldo Montoya, plus two-time Impact World Champion Die-Hard Eddie Edwards, JTG of Cryme Time, John Cena Sr., Oscar of Men on a Mission, and AEW's Jorah Joel for a VIP exclusive Q&A session, autograph photo fan fest, live in-ring wrestling with the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, plus the kickoff to the Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at bostonwrestling.com. Join us for a night of memories that'll last a lifetime, November the 13th, at an event 20 years in the making.